oil since 2008. But now, through the vision of the entrepreneur, Mr. Moore, this factory has been constructed to produce this engine oil, coolant, all forms of coolants and liquid in Ghana.
And they're doing it on the license?
Yes. Yes. So we are going to stop the importation, and then and it's a 500,000 liters a day capacity, and we are able to produce all forms of coolants and then fluid, coolants, and almost all the ingredients you can think of. So this is the outlet of the plant. The plant is we are currently conducting a test run.
Again, Charlie, I miss you all. Good to have you here. If today is your first time on my YouTube channel, please do well hit the subscribe button, show your girl some love. So guys, I found this place, this hidden fort in a town called Sesame, and I'm here to show you what's in here. The town Sesame, close to Abokobi, is about 30 minutes drive from the Accra Mall. So this is the information center. Meet my friend. Hi, David.
Hi, guys.
So what brought you here? How do you discover this place?
It's been a place that we visit from time to time. A few people in the neighborhood know about this place, so today we decided to come and show you guys the area.
Are you here? Are you from here?
No, I'm not from
here. Oh, okay.
But we don't live too far from here.
From here, yeah, I know, right?
Yeah.
So we are here together to see the place. We are here together with his friend. He's going to call the caretaker of the place, and for us to at least be educated. What happens here? How is this building here? It's on top. The history of it here. It's on top of a hill, so as you can see, it's way up. So meet our tour guide. He's called Kojo. Hi, Kojo.
Hi.
So Kojo is going to tell us a bit about this fort and everything we need to know.
This is Frederick's Grave Fort. It's located in Sesame, a suburb of Accra. It's close to properly. I don't know if people really know that place. It's called Abokobi.
Abokobi.
Yeah.
Okay. Is it in the eastern region or the Greater Accra region?
In the Greater Accra region. This is the last town in Accra.
This is the last town. So from here.
Then we're in the eastern region.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So why is this fort significant?
Well, it was let's say it was a fort for the Dutch. It was for the Dutch people. They used this place as a farming spot. So like all this land was for farming.
Okay.
They farm a lot and they send it to Usu. From here, when they farm and they are ready to transport, they could actually see ships from here.
Oh right, yeah, I can see.
You can see Tema. They go on, but I think they had telescopes and whatnot, so they were able to see when the ship is arriving. The ship signals them when they move from here to.
So who is the Freddy's grave?
So he was the first person who came to settle here. He was the person who actually found this place.
Freddy's Grave is a colonial building built by the Danish people in 1832. This fort served as a plantation with crops such as coffee, sugar, tobacco, and maize. From the terrace of this building, the coast could be seen through a telescope. They monitor the movement of the ships from here. Once the ship arrive, they come with goods, often including slaves. The slaves will carry the white colonialists in hammocks and walk all the way from Sesame to Osu, a town which is close to the coast. Tour prices cost 100 Ghana cedi for 2 or more people. The fort rooms have been decorated with artifacts and tools used in the past for memories. So this was his bathhouse. So his bathroom with a beautiful view. So okay, it's actually empty. This is the backyard. Oh wow! Actually like the bricks they used to building this. Well, has it ever been renovated?
No.
This is the original.
This is the original. This one is the original, but the other side has been renovated.
It has been painted. Oh, okay. This is how it was looking. Was it also looking like this in front?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So they just decided to paint it white.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So, according to the museum indication, the wall was made in 1831.
Okay.
That's about 190 years from now.
Wow. So this building is very old.
Very, very old.
Yeah.
Very, very old.
So this is the original style.
Yeah.
They use mud and stones.
Yeah.
Okay. So this was just renovated. You can see this is cement, and this is the original style. Oh, wow. So this is where the slaves were kept. This is one of the dungeons. It's so small here. The only source of ventilation is this door. There's no window. And yeah, this is how it looks. So without this door, you can imagine what they were going through. So yeah, so is the government managing this place?
Not at all.
Not at all. So they don't have any interest.
Zero interest.
So who manages the place?
The people who live here.
Oh, okay. This is where the slaves were kept, and they have still maintained the original style. Everything is still here, and this is how it looks. So this is the only bed that was here. This is how it looks like.
The bed is there.
So guys, this brings us to the end of this video. I hope you enjoyed watching as much as I enjoyed being here. Did you enjoy your stay here?
Yeah, so it's interesting.
Yeah, so let me know in the comment section if you've been here before. Have you heard about this place? If today is your first time seeing this video, let me know in the comment section. So until next time, on my next video, I hope you found this video very educative. Hi Dixon!
Hi.
Did you enjoy your time here?
Yeah, it was good.
You have been here several times.
Yeah.
What brings you here? What keeps bringing you here all the time?
The vibe, the view.
The view.
Yeah, it's calm.
Yeah, so we've had a good time here. It's time to go back home. And yeah, this is the end of Greater Accra. Behind this building is the Eastern region. In front of this building is Greater Accra region. So yeah, thank you so much for coming along. I love you all. Give them a kiss.
Alright, bye.
So this happens to be the chief's house, and before getting to the fort, this is how it looks like. And the fort, also close to it, is a church. So above this mountain is the fort.
Hello, this is Dr. Samson Asala from the Medifair Multi-Specialist Hospital and Fertility Center. Over the past 2 episodes, we've been talking about the disease progression of breast cancer. We've mentioned that there are 3 identifiable stages of disease progression. The first is the localized breast cancer. The second is the locally invasive breast cancer. These we've talked about in the previous episodes. Today, we are going to talk about the metastatic breast cancer. Metastatic breast cancer is that stage of the disease where the breast cancer cells move far away from the breast to other tissues and cause different symptoms. Now, the breast cancer cells can move into the spinal column, they can move into the liver, and they can move into the brain. It is very difficult at this stage to have cure of the breast cancer. Most of the time, when breast cancer spreads to this stage, the best we can do is to improve the quality of life of our patients. There are many tests that we do at this stage and different treatment modalities for metastatic breast cancer. We are going to talk in our next episodes about the various treatments that can be given for the various stages of breast cancer. Do join us again. Thank you.
One of the things GhanaWeb is doing, which in my estimation is one of the best things, is trying as much as possible to give pictorial in terms of video of whatever it's reporting online. Unlike those days where you only had to read about text. This time around, they've gone a step ahead and to ensure that there's a video added to whatever content they are putting out there for readers to also have a feel of the story. One of the things I think GhanaWeb can do is to, apart from the online TV, go on a full-fledged TV channel rather than the online TV. I think that would help. I've seen that the online TV is helping, but they should just go in a full channel. Keep up the good work. There may be challenges, but don't be deterred by those challenges. Challenges are bound to happen in every institution, and try and work harder. Focus on whatever you set to do for yourself, and I'm sure as the years roll by, you achieve those challenges.
In 2009, Ghana became the first African country and so far the only nation to win the FIFA World Cup. A member of that World Cup winning team is my guest on this edition of Sports Check. My name is Perez Ezwakwa, and when we come back from this break, the conversation begins. Welcome back from the break. Bright Adai of the National 20 fame is my guest on Sports Check. Bright, welcome to Ghana.
Thank you.
You've been in Ghana for some days now. I mean, how are you enjoying your holidays?
I'm enjoying my holidays because I have my family here, so I'm really enjoying my holidays.
For someone who supports Kotok, what do you think they must do if they really want to win the?
I think they have to respect the tactical play that the coach will tell them, because if you want to win the league, you have to fight hard and respect the plan of the coach. I think they can win the league.
What about Fabio Gama? I mean, he's been exciting for them again. He was on the score sheet when they played Kerala United. So how excited have you been with the Brazilian? I mean, he's come all the way from Brazil and he's doing so well in the Ghana Premier League. As someone who supports the club, what do you make of it?
For me, I think the guy is good. He's good because him coming from
Brazil. You know, Brazil, if you mention Brazil, everybody knows that every player in Brazil is good. So I think he has to continue. He doesn't have to stay back and say, oh, I'm good, so I won't train or something. So I think he has to continue training the way he's training, and I think he will do best.
Should that open the floodgate for other stars? Is it time that maybe our league, maybe you can go to even Romania where you're playing now, you can go maybe pluck a talent from there, just to, you know, enhance the excitement of the league? Is this something that you will propose, or you will to the people handling our football?
For me, I'll be happy that foreigners will come to Ghana and play the Ghana League, because if the foreigners are coming to Ghana to play the Ghana League, the Ghana League will be so good, because we Ghanaians travel away from Ghana to other countries and play. I think if them two they are coming here, the league will be excited.
How about the the players who are at their twilight of their career? Also, we call them veteran footballers. Some players who once played here, who've gone abroad and come back. Normally, they don't get the best of support from the fans, because they tend to, oh, Padile, Wenyi, also Bobium, that kind of thing. What would you say to the fans? Is there a time maybe we allow some of our footballers, Asamoah, for instance, is now back with Legon Cities? Should we embrace that? Should we allow more of these things?
For me, I think the fans here in Ghana has to stop that thing, because a player like Asamoah, he can play, he can still play. So we have to stop that thing. When you cry, no, it's so much because Wakobo were outside and Oba be retired. So he has to play for the Ghana League. And now league in Konenin, so what I say, because Obi who say Asamoah Ebo Ghana League. Honestly, be professor be there, Obeba Abebo, but say Nipaneba na Yanso the year. Then Obiam Babio. You understand me? So we have to stop that thing.
I think I read somewhere that you dream of playing for Kotoko before Oba retired. I mean, the last time some people tried that, it didn't really work out. Fans need to go on. So does that not scare you a bit that you will be?
For me, no, because if you're a player, as you say, everybody can be out too. So what I say, because me coming back to Ghana and play Ghana League, me a fit, I met my ball.
Sure.
Yeah, once I will play an idea, maybe I'll be able to with me a market to them.
But for someone who supports Kumasi and Kotoko, we would like to play for them, obviously. But what if the heart for a huge money? That's okay. We know you're a Kotoko fan, but we need your services. If I say about would you entertain them?
The only thing I can tell you is before leaving Ghana to Europe, now I wanted to play Kotoko.
Wow.
Before I'm free Ghana, and coming back to Ghana, Kotoko.
It has for this we can say 9 billion background.
Kotoko me brand say me crew, because me Yasantini, I would prefer to play for Kotoko.
All right, so this is Sports Check. We are speaking to Bright Adai of the National Under 20 film. We speak talking about the Ghana Premier League. We are winding up for that. That'll be my last question. My last question on the Ghana League. Oba, and I'm sure sir, watch your league in Accra. You've seen progress. You've seen fans in India. There na football na there ma, if GFA, any clubs and what they were. On betting me, I'm league na exciting. I'm anxious for patronizing league na. Football na there ma.
Kakra meet my can say more many call Ghana League, because na ye bobi and na ye free Ghana. So more many call Ghana League, now making sure say more sponsors aba to the Ghana League anymore, because more sponsors ba every league na ye fair. Aya kono ama obi a wo outside bia e bi opese oba Ghana bebo no obenya sa akoma no e di aba bebo Ghana, because the sponsors no wo mu na ye tua good. I think say Ghana League never connect, because me hu say because of the pay na boys ni bigi e wo Ghana League no ntina bebre no onyaji edin kakra po opese oko outside.
But how do we solve that? Because I can. I mean, even Omoji didn't the likes of Fabio Gama, Mone, Emmanuel Jeffrey, Mone, Salif Ibrahim, the other guys, then Bonso Marco. They've been able to raise this ama is it time to be a government bebemu and I say sponsors in other institutions bebemu na ya
for me, I think Zambia, I think it's Zambia because every company I work chronomono ubi afa team bako. So what I say, ubi afa team bako. I think say a good intino. Ghana companies no more Ghana. I think that this is the time I saw to me a trimbe teams no. Na say ubi awo team bako okita. I think say be okay. Ghana league anymore. Okay,
this is basically my last question on the Ghana Premier League. Play ben outside to play ben when you know who owns a way there or your future star.
Oh, I think Legon City boy no call under 20 lefty me refined.
You know took you or somewhere.
Oh, a small boy who you talk on by.
Yeah,
I think so no. No because of Bobo until I said Ghana unicorn.
Okay, so that's my last question. We are talking to Bright Adai, and we're speaking about the Ghana Premier League. We now touch on a topic that I'm sure he likes to talk about: the 2009 Under-20 World Cup. Ghana went all the way, beat almighty Brazil in the final, and Charlie, I still remember. I was young then, but Charlie, we were all over the place in the Western region, and now you just as time now, I remember do penalty in the Ura boxing. Who was the player? How did you feel?
Not feeling here high because a player like Bright now Ubo Ghana League. I just say Ubo Ghana League now. Opportunity we about work for the first time in history. No African country has done it before. Now Ghana, a team now feeling here so good.
After I'm winning a cup, you know, call back to my country. Like then a call club and I said,
oh, that be Obianco club, but now I think say now. Ghanaian players maybe were Egypt or Egypt. So you can't pour them. Everybody was there. The supporters. It's not like who knew Ghana near war Egypt like what will come now. Feeling here so good.
I think it's been more than 10 years. When you look back at Niemana Banyama, do you think say as a country you recognize it? The value or you place value on what money
for me no, like I said no, because Brazil crowd this second no, your mom fee, sika ni cars, what I say. So a team like Ghana, I think more than the you know, because they not me dreaming they say at that time you know, now you were sika the better car.
Sure.
Into the cars no more you know. I think say come pay estates. Being and comedy didn't too so say bia and a 24 go for a World Cup no almost estate in I think say no obi obehun bia no be ebenya any GB ama yenyen players no but my car oh why are there mean ka say onya there why are there but now to many I think so my fear and better.
I read it somewhere so we say the Ajimabedi penalty needs severe mommy. What are the details? I mean
it's saving because me say penalty no. When you say be one na ruffians what I say.
Yeah.
Because Russia and Sukula no what about Russia Sukula the history between the two.
I mean I've stayed in Russia for some months so
okay so you know that the two cities no so share the intimacy. And you know penalty no me say no almost the second in the echo me ho like they want to do so many things so but nyame child there no omo duru ho no at that moment omo duru ho no na Ajimabedu e share goal no ntino omo hu say Ghana Africa omo sa omo chiback.
Wow. Yeah. Wow, that's quite revealing. I mean, for fans to go to the length of doing that to your mom just because we say penalty, but it's all good. We thank God say Ajimabedu say penalty.
Amazing.
But you know, after a tournament, we now you link him to so many big clubs. Eddie went to AC Milan. I think Daniel Parry went to Real Madrid. When you look back, we share more progress over the years. Do you think, say, are you impressed with how Muina Mafe, maybe I was see our Romania, Andre or England? Are you impressed with the way Mukari are turning out?
Metimaka say Abua and Bebre because Bebre ebo outside. ɛna ebi mo nso wɔ hɔ nom a ɔmo da so wɔ Ghana, but Ghana no ɛsɛ sɛ yɛma yɛde kɔ yɛ players no ho, because aburokyire no obiara respecting the players, but Ghana no me ho ne sɛ wobɔ national team no na wofiri hɔ nom then they forget about you, and it's not good for Ghana, and for we the players, it's not good, because if you offer player be it is as a margin. And it's like omu yine free sim anymore. And this is banisa because why be Brahma Ghana? So what I said, you know, and some more many echo Ghana players.
Osha then yenya margin. Of course, he's our record goal scorer. Oba World Cup, his record. No one can dispute the fact that he's arguably the best goal scorer Ghana has ever had. But now can I say we are not celebrating him or appreciating him enough? Then Osha yenya nanke. You're recognizing for the great player that he is.
To me, no, me the Italian players, no, for example, if you be to Bonucci, still is in the team.
It's in the team.
So what I see, and Ghana, no, me only say, as you say, at least 2 senior players, walk your team anymore. Even Krasomun Bobia to motivate the boys. So what I see, till Obi is Samaja, he has to be in the camp. Sana be the mini fairly. So what I see. Because our camper, our that experience, I will bet me direct boys, you know. Because if you're team no more, one team pointy senior player be for now. But if you're Italian team now, Ubehu Bonucci,
yeah,
Ubehu
Cellini,
Kellini, yeah. What I say, and you know, this is the difference now. Ghana, no, I say you, because there are 2 senior players or more. Omunim there. The way how many players in Krabede ever communicate, I
mean, I was going to come to the Black Stars, but you've taken me there with the whole Asamoah thing and CK Akono issue. Osha, the lack of, because who can say senior players be inspirational figures to Kolano, it be need team to Hano. Osha bit my higher in our tournament or in our next game, Sayoko.
I think so. No. A bit more affecting, but any problem because boys now from no be a boy on the club side, so the importance of calling a player to the national team, you know. So focus. Your friend will be a better friend even so you focus because this time this is a Ghana team deba.
Well, I mean, when Andre in 2009, not your captain, so I'm sure say he had first-hand experience of how inspirational of a leader he is. How do you think so with me? A correct team, you know, I bring unity to the team, push him and Jack up as a captain.
If you are talking about unity, then a unity. As I said, my mom on your group because if you're under 20, 2009 your squad now. Now any group our team anymore. You share in your share. Daniel share will be a the obey no call. Until there's someone here and some may a group. Or your group and into 12 team. There's some on back together. Now, almost almost team boom. Almost team boom. I think say Ghana beating me at the cup now by this time.
But Andre in particular, Osha as a leader, no. Then now from 2009, we see free no officer. So, or you see there now. Wait to me the place in about together no more achieve.
Or you're good because only boys in the casa or only the way only boys in the casa. Okay. And so continue the way no only a casa war. Egypt, you know. I think that's why yes, you let me know you can free.
And you know, we share the next year and a half con. I mean, it was supposed to come off, I think, this year, but due to COVID, no, or postponed. No. Are you confident, sir, for the first time? Because it's been over 40 years. Me sure 7 when every time I Ghana do it's you know, it's been over. Do you think, sir, for the first time in over 40 years, you know? Ghana beat Magic Cup in Cameroon next year.
I don't know. I mean, make no. It's all here together because all here together. Na bibia echo ye momudia. I think say they I'm betting the cup now back.
Okay. One issue so a tab border on Black Stars here bonuses, salaries in this side. As players, how do you feel? Say, Mbra, instead say conversation be focus here on more modern bono, then it's about money. Do you feel sad? How do you feel about those things?
I mean, we want to say Ghanaians, okay, sometimes also we want to not figure out boys now boys, you move for cab. I don't know, this is their job. The Panobano be prayer. If you are in the club side, we're shooting the position. If you're home, you're Sikawa. Until somebody among Muscana, I think, say, almost deserve say, yeah, this can be one, but as you say, almost to me, at the cup, about Bana Ghana for so many G, because we'll be expected to say Ghana better me the cup, I think, Abba.
But also, I'm sure, sir, you have a dream of playing for the Black Stars. I mean, that's Obiani dream, say, one day, Obama. How would you feel so one day, or then you get an email or a call from Sikakon or say, oh, Bright, come on board and let's pursue this agenda for Ghana?
I'll be happy because every player will be happy to support the national team. And me know, me run national team no, never ko ye mame. So what I say. And I think say me ready say mo frame me and now china me ready say my bebo.
Okay, so this is First Check. We are speaking to Bright Adai of the National Under-20 firm. My name is Perez as well. We are going for a breather. When we come back, we dive into other aspects of the conversation.
From the dawn of time, people have engaged in several businesses. With the onset of technology and innovation, life has relatively been made easier. By using debit or credit cards,
mobile banking.
Thank you. And your favorite, mobile money?
Tech has indeed married business. On BizTech, we spend time with faces behind known and upcoming businesses in the country.
Learn more about the new technologies and innovation,
as well as find out about the trending issues in the world of business.
Join us as we serve you with a variety of compelling interviews, projects, and others right here on GhanaWeb TV.
Welcome back from the break. It's First Check and Bright Adai is our guest. We are basically at the concluding stages of the interview. Bright, I think anyone who picture be when a GFA president.
Me papa preoccupé.
Your publicist story, but the comment never was. I mean, do you feel so Ghanaians don't adhere Yemaya? No, I say. What do you make about the whole Nyantechi incident? The Obeye from 2005, time Obedi UFA president, or the call World Cup, sending an announced expose. What's your view about signing?
No, it's so sad. It's so sad, but all the same, so some from so only pahu. But it's here in Ghana for I say yeah, she and I teach the more Juman. I said we are very careful because we all my dear, but a gift to, but if you are first with the idea, Eddie Howard drink, you know. I said we actually was an man, but the ex-president, I'm Papa preoccupant, you know.
Your papa,
I'm Papa because me Papa Aka baby.
Okay.
But Obeka baby, no, the Michelle Jordan and Abula ex, the late Jordan.
So not them under 20 World Cup.
Or the Michelle is so Ojama, Emma, the president. So what I say, you know, I'm Papa. And you know, I happy you to me enko echi. Sure. One always trying to be brave or move. The bumpire said, "Baby, I will call you, man."
Bandra, I know what to send.
Yeah, you're so good. You're so good because of whom you can now. Because it's been a while. I'm home. For so many years, I'm home. So, I know whom you know now.
When how does it feel about near Nimana Tuno? Is he hurt? Is he bitter? Or now he feels we're moving on, a part of life now?
I say we are sanity. Mistake be our baby, I know correct. No sure. Move in life. Because life, you know, the way in the doors, the way they say, you jaguachi, you're queen. And you know, are you okay? Are you okay? Or not, because I can know happen to know. Are you okay?
It's a conversation, Ben. When I have do you wish one day back into football?
Because I'll be happy. I'll be happy.
So we're appealing no Newcastle. We are still. There have been reports about Bumsi and Bayo, so we are still.
I will be happy so we're back.
I didn't know.
Because I work on Ghana. Ultimately, the senior national team local World Cup. I think three times. Yeah. So coming back of him, you know,
But what do you remember? Time or what do you remember mostly about him? Are they been all the kind of?
Oh, they me kind of in the sense of Obawa. Only in that Timitun Sadidi.
Wow.
You know. Or you're so kind to or everybody. Sana bit makan.
I mean, what about our stars? I mean, your former club now. After the whole Nyantachi incident, the club had to be sold. And I Lagos City. Do you feel hurt, say, club Abuamusi, because you are not the only one who has benefited from more Modoso. To see a club in the hobby, I mean, there is no Ghana Premier League club there. Are you hurt, sir, whilst I say in the hobby?
Yes, Emia, because we share Wabi and Nihonomo. It's only the team.
Sure.
And you know, say, wow, stars in Nihonomo, me Philippine Emma Wafo, because almost the team, you know. But moving the team to Accra, no. And then like the job money. So what I say, sometimes I feel hurt, but if you are saying sanity, every year in Myanmar, AC, you know, you're funny, sir.
Now let me come back to your career, your career itself. Now you're playing in the Romanian league after almost 9 years in Italy. What was first season in Romania? When you compare the Italian league or Italian football to the Romanian league, what's the difference?
The only difference is also country behind the way our league not here, because Italy is almost pay and what what I say. Italy there we to Accra almost fail. Because my first year I was asking no me yellow be 15 and I mean red I think 3. So you know how no was say with me e come more but Romania no too soft to the stand say our league na nye e munti say Italian league. Yeah, but our league no so there. Yes.
I mean, first season, how did you go for it?
The first year, no, difficult kakra because me call you, say me documents near man before make kiki, but the me documents no eba out no. My first league, me boy na me share me first goal. Edi man me club no. You know, I think say Bibia ko ye man.
We share the Romanian league. Do you have any dream of playing in maybe in the English Premier League? And a club you dream of playing for?
I'll be happy to say England for Chelsea.
Chelsea.
Yeah, because Tamana is more Drogba more Hodmana. I really enjoy the team. Yeah, so Minya Konya say me call England. Yeah, I'll prefer to play for.
So we support Chelsea.
Yeah.
And then what the Champions League
when there's
a
but good some more for Champions League.
We go from for Champions League. But we share Thomas Tuchel on here. Now, we share next season. We continue now. We achieve success.
We continue because Oba and Wama never be Brazilian team anymore. See our ball possession. Crown who say Chelsea good. You know, I think say next season Obetima more than the year.
You mentioned Mike Leeson, or your role model?
Oh, I'm role model. My role model John Mensah.
John Mensah.
Yeah, John Mensah.
The Rock.
Because now I'm a defender, but me drew Italy number 10 it was the defensive midfielder.
John Mensah. What about John Mensah playing now? I mean, we all know. I mean, no one can dispute the fact that he was indeed the Rock of Gibraltar. But I didn't know free no how I'm also on the out as role model.
Time me both defense now I was trying to play as like the way I know Obono no or you're so simple.
Yeah
and I Obo holding so and I mission the way on the players is here the way Okasa. I quite remember say me free under 20 by and me need share wo Marcel Desailly honomo or no Asien and Tornado but the way I menene kasa you know home na not like Menyaji. Like I want to be like him, the way I okasa no. Yeah.
Who shares our squad? Asian, Apia, Muntari. Then what prevented us from winning cups? Because that's one of the best teams in Does it, as a fan, as a Ghanaian, is it a bit disappointing, sir, with all those caliber of stars and to me and J trophy? Yeah,
because we show my team, no more team. About we want to say almost time no year Ghana TV fuck up. Sana me make my can and no moment my phone. Saying you almost year got things and commit my fuck up on my Ghana.
But in Siciano, you can say name of best Ghanaian footballer of all time. But why not about footballer? What's your way there? What's your mind way? You know, in Sasoda.
I've heard.
Well, but okay, let me say maybe in the last 20 years, in the last 10 years or 20 years, appear Moscow no, and then they always see no if we can how now best single out as best player.
And come single out Asamoah.
The baby jet. I didn't know about
still jet. Well, so good. So good. Onimkasa, but don't say Umbena. Yeah. We free say on yet. But okay. Only Pabian so or the left and the right. So Zembekasa out. Yeah. And the Rubia or on one casa any problems, what I said. Obu one man akuma ba. Obemo won say nakuma ba. Obu one nakuma ba, ma won say nakuma ba. You know. For me now, I think Asamajan the top. Okay. So now he has named Asamajan as his best Ghanaian footballer, maybe in recent years of all time. We are going to talk about the Euros, maybe a bit about Messi and Ronaldo, who does he think deserve the accolade of the greatest footballer of all time? Euros no heavy. I'm sure because we were holidays in Chile. I have to be with my family.
The simple is number down and yes more chilling.
I'm Chile, but don't say me bar, I'm Jima home.
My last question will be on the never-ending debate. That debate in America. Be our your opinion. Ronaldo, Messi. I mean, what's your more? I'm sure you've come close to some of them. Who would you pick as the greatest footballer of all time?
I'll go for Ronaldo.
Why?
Because Ronaldo, the work rate was team one. Good because attack or the board defense and so what I see. So I think I'll go for Ronaldo.
So it's first check. We've been speaking to Bright Adai, a national U20 World Cup winner. We touched on the Black Stars, the Euros, as well as the Ballon d'Or. This is first check. I'm your host, Perez as well. Until we come your way with another edition of the show, Japan.
Hello, this is Dr. Samson Asala from the Medifair Multi-Specialist Hospital and Fertility Center. Over the past 2 episodes, we've been talking about the disease progression of breast cancer. We've mentioned that there are 3 identifiable stages of disease progression. The first is the localized breast cancer. The second is the locally invasive breast cancer. These we've talked about in the previous episodes. Today, we are going to talk about the metastatic breast cancer. Metastatic breast cancer is that stage of the disease where the breast cancer cells move far away from the breast to other tissues and cause different symptoms. Now, the breast cancer cells can move into the spinal column, they can move into the liver, and they can move into the brain. It is very difficult at this stage to have cure of the breast cancer. Most of the time, when breast cancer spreads to this stage, the best we can do is to improve the quality of life of our patients. There are many tests that we do at this stage and different treatment modalities for metastatic breast cancer. We are going to talk in our next episodes about the various treatments that can be given for the various stages of breast cancer. Do join us again. Thank you.
It gives me great privilege to congratulate GhanaWeb on your 22nd anniversary. You have been a trailblazer in providing accurate and timely news. And we salute you on all your achievements and accomplishments. We wish you another 22 years of top-notch professional journalism. So congratulations once again, and keep up the good job.
Welcome to the Lowdown on GhanaWeb TV. This is your socio-political program that gives you all the relevant issues that matter to you. My name is Ni Akwe Ismail Akwe. In this edition, we are going to discuss the transport industry and how it drives the economy. Our guest is a key stakeholder in the transport business and is the best person to speak to us on this issue. We'll be right back after this break. Welcome back from the break. This is the Lowdown. My name is Ni Akwe Ismail Akwe, and our guest is the head of communication at the Ghana Private Road Transport Union, Mr. Abbas Ibrahim Moro. Welcome, Mr. Moro.
Thank you.
So GPRTU was set up in 1967, and since then we've been hearing about GPRTU mostly when it has to do with transportation. What's the mandate of GPRTU?
Oh, averagely, we are into private transport operations, and currently, undisputedly, the leading private transport operators in the country. So you can see we grow from strength to strength. And I believe we've also served Mother Ghana well. That is why we are still the leading contender in the race.
So how does one become a member? Do you just have to go to the office and sign up?
Yes, anywhere at all you decide to work with, and those in charge, we have constitution which guides us to be sure that we do the right thing, not to cheat the public, not to cheat our members. So if you decide to work with Jowulu, any GPRTU station within Jowulu catchment area, you have to approach them, inform them of your intention. Every union has their bylaws. Some will immediately accept you as a member. Others will put you on probation because we don't want a driver who steals. We don't want a driver who insults our clients, who are our passengers. So every union has their bylaws. Others will put you on probation, about 3 months, others 6 months, to look at your character, the way you interact with your members, the way you interact with our clients. And they will closely monitor you to find out if somebody leave items in your vehicle, will you return it to the office? Some instances they will try you and see if you are a honest person or so, because if you are not a honest person, there are instances people leave money, huge sum of money in bags. The drivers return them to the office. When the owner come looking for it, they give it back to the owner. Whatever the owner gives to the driver, there are a lot of blessing in it, say, compared to somebody who will take it away.
So drivers' mates, that's the conductors, yes, are they also eligible to apply to be members of GPRTU?
And you have to, but until you have passed through the hurdle, you have become a driver, your master has been able to help you acquire a driving license for you. Secondly, they have to be sure when you were going under that tutelage of becoming a driver, your behavior also counts.
So without a license, you can't be a member?
No. With that, because that is for drivers, it's not for mates.
Okay.
You see, if you become a member, meaning you are a driver in the union, you also contribute to build up the union. So this is how it is. And now And these people are fighting to look for the viable ones. As I speak now, most of the viable unions have bylands, put up buildings for their members. Most have also bylands for their members. There is 1 or 2 unions also who what they do is they look for about, when they work for some time, 2 or 3 people who has now qualified for the assistant that they are operating. They will ask you, the 2 of you, to go and look for a vehicle. They will buy for you, you also pay. And meanwhile, before, you won't pay for the full cost because you also contributed and they bought some for somebody.
Yeah.
So when they buy it for you, they slash the amount down to some stage and ask you to work and pay for that amount, not the full cost. So this is what most of our people are doing now.
So how do we identify drivers who are members of GPRTU? Do they have a special sticker on their cars or something?
Yes, we have. Oh, I've left my ID card in my car, which no, this is my complimentary. No, we have ID cards that we've done for all members. Initially, Greater Accra started. Currently, all over the country. Currently, we have an identity card with GPRTU. Your union is stated, your position in the union. If you are the chairman or a member, it's also stated on the card. And those in the Greater Accra, our regional chairman and me being the secretary, my number, the 2 numbers are on it. So anybody who drops his or her card somewhere, immediately somebody picks it, they call us, and we arrange for the owner to go for it. The recent one was at Medina. Someone who drops his ID card in a purse, his Ghana card is also inclusive. You know, Ghana card, there is nothing to trace you out. Your number is not on, your telephone number could not be seen on it. And
unless you go to the office.
Yes, and his bank card is also in it. So the person calls and we arrange, we ask for the person's number. It was a lady. So we look for the driver. Immediately we call the welfare. They were able to get the driver for us, and we gave them the lady who found the item's telephone number. And he went and collected it and thanked the lady faithfully.
So talking about the ID card, there are some drivers who misbehave, and you see passengers or customers, I would like to call them that, complaining, but there's no way to identify these drivers. Is it mandatory for drivers who are members of GPRTU to show their cards so people could pick up their identity?
You see, we must be honest to ourselves. GPRTU, undisputedly, as I said, the leading private transport operators in the country. We have cooperatives as well. We have Protour as well. This concern are there, committed are there. But those that we believe who are most recalcitrant, I'm not saying we don't have recalcitrant drivers in our midst. No, that's not what I'm saying. But those that we have identified to be are the floating drivers, those who does not belong to any organization at all, because they know you can't trace him anywhere. They can get away with it. But by then, law does not permit them to work, because the law says anybody who want to operate commercial driving business must belong to an entity. They can go and form theirs or come and belong to any of the existing ones. But yet they are operating freely without any problem at all. So they are the most problem causes. They are the most people who has been creating most of, because about a month ago I traveled to Mankasim, and there were some sprinters on the way they were driving, my brother, very, very dangerous. And these are the people who really does not. So I took one of the numbers. When I got to Kandeshe, I tried to find out, and they don't belong to any, over there. And it wasn't healthy at all. I believe something must be done. The law must take its course and make sure, because in case these 2 drivers that I saw that they were driving dangerously, overtaking about 7 vehicles at a time, and one instant he nearly ended up with a head-on collision. And I was, you see, because of my work, as what I'm doing today. I was trying to maintain the prescribed speed, which is not above 80 kilometers per hour. And I looks like a stranger on the road. Oh, eventually, almost everybody was overtaking me because I was driving, I was maintaining the prescribed speed limit on that road. You see, so these are some of the causes. Most of this recalcitrant, I'm not saying, well, we'll have one or two in every society. You know how we behave.
So in case a driver is misbehaving and this driver has a card or hanging
this
on
is what.
So this is the card we are talking about.
Let me pick it out for you.
Sure. So in case the driver has this card that you are holding, which is a card that shows
which has my picture,
membership, it has your picture, your name,
position,
and position,
my name,
and also the branch
that I belong to. Yes. I'm also a chairman at the Abekan La Paz main branch. I'm the chairman over there. It indicates that yes, if I am a member in that branch too, it will indicate that a member in that Abekan La Paz main branch, it will indicate.
In case a driver having this card, which means he's a member of GPRT, breaks the laws, just as you saw someone breaking the law, what should a passenger do?
You shouldn't hesitate. If you are traveling from Accra to, say, Mankasim or Cape Coast or Kumasi, when you get to the station, you have to report to the authorities over there, and they will take it up.
So you have to pick the car number, or you have to ask,
and the time that you travel with that vehicle. Immediately, you report to them. They will take it up. There is an instance, somebody went to New Plant Station and sent a parcel. He was supposed to register the parcel, but he just get in touch with a driver and gave him the parcel. It was containing money. He did not disclose it to the driver. I believe that driver suspected that the parcel was containing money. The money doesn't get to its final destination. We penalize the driver for doing that, you see. So if you report, whoever you report to, that union's executive will pick it up, because if you don't, you are eventually going to lose your passengers. Now look at the competition in our industry. So if you don't do something to protect your job and maintain your customers and engage more customers, meaning you are going to, run at a loss. You are going to lose your passengers. Hence, when you report, but normally when you report, we shall investigate to make sure that what you said is the truth. Then whatever punitive action that we are supposed to take, we will do that.
Ride-hailing services like Uber and Bolt, can they be members of GPRT, or are they even members of GPRT?
Currently, Tango is trying to negotiate something with us, so they are all welcome.
Oh, so they can be members?
They can be members if they want. Like some section of Tango want to engage us in some flexible business, they are all welcome. All of them are welcome.
And what about commercial motorbike riders?
We don't. You see, my brother, I always try to dodge commercial motorbikes answers. But let me briefly tell you something. If something is good, it's good. There is an adage which says, if I tell you the truth and you cry, it's better than telling you lies to laugh. You see, let's speak the truth. In our statutory books, they are not to operate as commercial entities. Both the two legs and the tricycles, all of them are not supposed to operate as commercial entities. And authorities are watching. They are saying nothing about it. So I normally don't want to complain, because if something is bad and you want to paint it as good, look at the number of people they are killing. They have killed and they are still killing. In case government decides that, oh, let's commercialize them, let's sit down with them, let's regulate them, let's show them what to do, what not to do, I don't think the number of people killed as of today will get to that number. But here we are. Nothing has been done. The illegality is always going on. So normally it has now turned into politics. So I don't want to mingle politics with my work. So I've decided not to. So because whatever I do, whatever I say, I have children, I have wives, I have relatives. I don't want somebody to use something against me for me to blame myself or regret ever doing that. So I don't mingle politics with my work. If you ask me things, I will say the way it is. Either you like it or not. It will give some people credit. It will discredit some people. But eventually when you go home and just put your head on your pillow, oh yes, what this gentleman says is the truth and nothing but the truth. This is the way I want to brand myself.
So between January and July 2021, the country had 9,520 accidents. And this, or amongst this, we had private vehicles having the highest, 6,829. The commercial vehicles had 5,726. And then the motorbikes you are talking about, they had 3,671.
The motorbikes that you asked me about.
Yes.
I'm not talking
Sorry.
about.
So the motorbikes that I asked you about, of course. So they had about 3,671. So you could see the accidents, the percentage of accidents is increasing. And now the motorcycles have added to it. And we have private vehicles at the top of it. And I heard you in our discourse, with the GhanaWeb road safety seminar, where you were pushing that
challenge someone.
Private vehicles are causing more accidents than commercial vehicles. So what are you doing to put your drivers on track?
My brother, I want to say this, and I want to GhanaWeb to put it on record. I never knew you have a TV program. I've been opening on the social media, GhanaWeb. Every morning I have to look for the current events. That is where I look my programs at. You see, my brother, I want you to put this on record. Currently, the Cape Coast Takoradi Road has recorded more accidents, I believe, than the Kumasi Road. But that is the safest road we have, I would say, in the country. Because if you move from Kaswa, they have erected road signs indicating you can drive 80 kilometers. When you move forward, getting closer to a town, they have also directed you or instructed you to reduce the speed to 50. You take 50, when you get to somewhere that you have to, there is a sign indicating that you can now go 80 kilometers. There is one sharp curve, there is a sign for that. You have two sharp curves ahead of you. There is a sign to that. Where zebra crossing have been erected, the first zebra crossing sign with white background, you see it. The second zebra crossing with blue background, you see it, and there is zebra crossing marking on the road. So I see no reason why, but by then, I'm saying you should put this on record. If police will take it upon themselves and make sure we have our 6 speed checking on the road, 6 sections from Accra to Kumasi, 6 or 8, there won't be any accident recorded. Although if there will be even an accident recorded, it will be about 1 or 2, because my brother, most of these accidents are being caused by some of these recalcitrant drivers. And I was insisting that day that they should say the way it is, that private cars has outnumbered the commercial cars, because most of the time they create the accidents and they get away with it because they have flashy cars, very smart cars. They will try to overtake wrongfully, and if a commercial car carrying so many people, see, you just can't crash into an oncoming vehicle. You try to salvage the situation whereby you end up languishing comfortable somewhere in the bush just for the private car to pass through. So most of the accidents are being caused by most of these flashy vehicles. Now that our people have also changed their attitudes more, you see the record now. I will also say the later education we've now started, on our people has also yielded positive result. Although the accident recorded, we are not happy with it. The number is also still on the higher side. So we are still advising our people to make sure the right things should be done. They should go straightly by the road signs, all the signs indicating there is a sharp curve. Kindly accept it in good faith, indicating that you are not supposed to drive more. The other day, I think we have a meeting with National Road Safety Authority, and I was telling them to have a look at the Kumasi Road. If you get to a new plan at Achimata, you see a sign of 80 kilometer. If you move towards in Sawam, you know, when using the new road, there is a total filling station on your right side. Just after the total filling station, you will see 100 kilometer erected over there, and you see 50, 50, 50, 50, 50. So I was reminding them that they should have a look on the road and make sure some of the speed signs should be erected over there. Secondly, I also saw something from Apenkwan overhead on the N1 highway, driving towards La Paz. Just at the Apenkwan overpass, you see 80 kilometer erected over there, which shouldn't have been the case, because now the place is densely populated area. Children have been crossing from Achimata and Kotema to Apenkwan cluster of schools. So if you still maintain that 80 kilometer, you are telling drivers to be killing our children. Now, if you move further to Abrante Sport, around Abrante, there is the same 80 kilometer also mounted over there. So I was telling them they should revisit it and reduce those places to 50 kilometers, because if you are driving around 50 kilometers and even an elderly or a young or a child crosses, you can salvage the situation compared to the 80 kilometer speed. So these are some of the things that we should all try to help, so that we check it out and make sure right things are being done.
There's a lot of work to be done. We'll come back after this break to talk about your number of members that you have. Also, we'll talk about the quality of vehicles. This is a concern that has been coming up day in, day out. This is a lowdown. My name is Ni Akwe Ismail. Akwe will be right back after this break. Welcome back from the break. This is the lowdown. My name is Ni Akwe Ismail Akwe. We are talking with Mr. Abbas Ibrahim Moro. I almost forgot your name. He's the head of communication for GPRTU. So we talked a lot about some things that need to be done, like changing the speed limits on our roads, because some roads are growing, and also putting some speed stops on our major roads from Accra to Kumasi and all of that. So still back to the GPRTU. How many members do you have now?
Oh, very huge. We are trying to get the data of all the regions and our total number. We've given that to a consultant.
Okay.
It's the same consultant who is working on our ID card. Yes. So every region, when he finishes, he just tally up. So he's still working on it. So after we'll get there, we want to see how huge or how big we are.
In 2011, it was quoted that you were 120,000. Even that one alone is huge.
That was
it's really big.
A rough estimate.
Yes, rough estimate. So right now, if let's assume you are even 500,000, even a million, that means that you drive the economy, because it means you transport people back and forth all over the country. How are the changes in terms of the policies that are being made with importation of vehicles, importation of car parts, also fuel, fuel prices going up and all of this? How does it affect the union? How does it affect the drivers?
Yes, you see, don't forget, Ghana is not a developed country, it's a developing country. So you have to look at our income, our living condition, and you understand where we are coming from. In case your daddy was a civil servant, he is now out of 60 years and above, and the pension money given to him he decides to run transport with it, and your daddy comes out maybe 10 years now, you can imagine that 10-year vehicle will not be the same as 2 months vehicle. Definitely the vehicle will experience some sort of cracks. But in Ghana, we are so crafty that even colonial days vehicle could be turned into something new. Some of these vehicles that we are using, although you might know it, for example, like the LT buses that we are using, you know, the LT buses are a little aged, but when you sit in most of them and you listen to the engines, the movement, you say vehicles doesn't get old as we've been saying it. If only you want to maintain it, you want to use it. So currently we've been encouraging our people to make sure the vehicle you have is what you live on. No matter how aged it is, kindly make sure if the engine is weak, look for a very good engine to it. If the body has a lot of scratches on it, send it to the panel beater, let him recondition it. You spray it, the upholstery, you do it very nicely so that you can continue to do business with it. GPRT, as you asked, last year we brought in some vehicles which are currently running Kumasi with our name on it, GPRT Greater Accra. And just last week we had another new vehicles also, that is 34-seater buses. We are trying to do our best and make sure we will use all those new ones to replace the old ones as we are moving forward. But you can't do that overnight. So I would say we will still continue to take that credit.
So you are for maintenance now, and then eventually you will change the cars, the vehicles are on the road. Because there are a lot of complaints about vehicles being rusty and all of that. I know it's not a GPRTU problem, because you're not the only union.
We accept it because in Ghana, when I was growing up, the best toothpaste we have is Pepsodent. And if anybody wants to send you to buy toothpaste, so the high Pepsodent or Bahame. So we accept it that because we are the best, we are the leading. Anybody who accuses us, yes, we accept it that way. But that doesn't mean whoever drives recalcitrantly is from GPRTU. Most of the time we are being accused for things that we never did.
So recently there was a fuel subsidy issue that came up, and everybody is screaming in the country. How are your drivers taking it?
My brother, say just 2-3 days ago we came up with 13% upward adjustment. Nobody, you are a journalist, you were all expecting around 25-20% increment, and we came up with 13%, looking at the living condition of our people, our clients, the passengers that joins our vehicle, etc., etc. And we are thinking today that we've come out with some of the levies, taxes and margins that government should have a second look, reduce this about 5 or so from the fuel price, so that the fuel price will be slashed down. Just 3 days ago that we came up with this project, everybody was, oh, the transport operators have done well. Everybody has just forgotten about the good work we did. They are saying, oh, why you want this, you want that. Yes, this is the business we do. A driver lives happily because at the end of the day, for example, if you have a vehicle, you've given the vehicle to me, we've come to gentleman agreement that every day I'll make a daily sales of 100 Ghana. Averagely, you will pay me twice what I do, which is 200 Ghana. Can I survive on that 200 Ghana, my brother? You tell the whole world that no, I want to hear from you. Can I survive as my monthly salary on that 200 Ghana? I want to hear from you.
Everybody has
no, not everybody. Can I survive on?
Everybody is different.
No,
I can't survive on that.
Yes. Say say it properly.
I can speak for myself. I can't survive on that.
I mean, who can survive on 200 Ghana? But because at the end of the day, the driver will get about 20 Ghana. You see, we must be honest to ourselves when we are dealing with the public. I'm teaching, you're also teaching. So let's teach them the truth. The truth will be supported with faith. And you also get blessing from that faith. If I get 20 Ghana a day, if I go home, I can leave some, or early morning I can leave some. Meanwhile, this 20 Ghana a day, times 26 working days in a month, whatever I get plus the 200 Ghana, I'll get something reasonable. So we are not much worried. But it doesn't, we are not saying that because we were born in the same vicinity, we grew up in the same vicinity, me and you, we attend the same school. You decide to continue in the university, I decide maybe the parents cannot afford to pay when I get to the university. You know how much you have to start paying. Maybe my parents hasn't got, so I decide to get into the driving industry. That doesn't mean I shouldn't live happily. You see, so if I decide to get into the driving industry, I have plans for that. That maybe I've seen 1 or 2 people in the industry who have been able to sacrifice, buy their own land, build their houses. They've taken care of their children. So I can also go through that the same. Now, if I don't get the 20 Ghana a day after hard day's work, I don't get that money because fuel has been increased. And when we start the business, you fill my tank for me. If I'm not careful, at the end of the day, I have to refill it for tomorrow's work. Anytime they increase the fuel, the money that I have to use to refuel the tank, it won't refuel it again. It will be, I have to add up or it will reduce. Meaning the daily 20 Ghana that I have to take home, I have to take some and add up before I'll be able to fill the tank for the next day's job. If it continues the way it has continued from May up to October, May a liter, price of a liter, not a gallon, is around 6 cedis, 8 pesos. Today, it's around 6 cedis, 50 pesos, meaning 42 pesos has been increased on a liter of fuel. So you can imagine this 42 times the number of gallons I use a day times 26 working days. You can imagine what I could save to take care of my family, which has gone into the fuel. So this is why today we came up with what we are saying that yes, government, where we are today, price of a gallon of petrol is around 29 cedis, some 30 pesos or 35 pesos. We are saying that if some of these taxes could be slashed out of the taxes, levies and margins on a gallon, we could save something small. The price 29 could come down to around 18 cedis, some pesos, whereby the driver at the end of the day could also save something small. Yeah. If care is not taken, we are saying this, and we are with the government that if it doesn't, then we have no choice than to come up with another upward adjustment. Else we can't survive. And I don't think there's anybody who will take a bucket from here to the Maxmat, or what is the name of that? Yes. You have to go and fetch water from Maxmat to your studio. By the time the person gets here, there is no water in the bucket. That person will go back with the same leaking bucket to the same Maxmat unless the person is not good upwards. Yeah. But anybody who's normal like we are will not go back again. That's what we are doing today. You wake up at dawn, look at the risk job that we are doing. At times you will be on your way and somebody will come and kill you. Yeah. You work and at the end of the day you don't get anything. I mean, nobody, if care is not taken, there will be a time nobody will get into the driving industry because it won't be lucrative. Nobody will go into it because when you get into it, you will work and you won't get anything out of it.
So how do you measure or calculate the amount of money to add or to increase the prices? How do you do that measurement?
Oh, my brother, 1 + 1. 1 + 1. We are discussing, we are educating the public. 1 + 1. It's 2. And 1 and 2 - 1 is 1. If you have money, you are working with it, and the money is declining. I mean, nobody will tell you you are fighting a lose battle. You have to know that, oh, this increment from May up to October, oh, we have suffered so much that we are not making any headway.
So do you do it together with the other unions?
We are in the same business together, so they are also aware.
Okay.
And this time we all came together, brought up the press release that is on the media today.
It is very timely because normally what we see is the moment there's an increase in fuel, the people we call the floating drivers, then they increase even before we get the official information from the unions.
We've been taking our time because, like as I said, we believe in dialogue. We don't want to take decision whereby tomorrow there will be loopholes in the decision taking. So normally we take our time, make a very good consultation before coming out. And secondly too, we believe in dialogue. You can mark it. We've never staged a strike before because we know very well when we do, there will be loss of lives, and we can't. When we call back the strike, we can't resurrect the people who has died. I'm saying this because most villages, we work from the villages to the big cities. And if we decide, education that we are giving, all the drivers are listening and they are happy. And because we are doing the same business, they, we are not getting anything. So if government does not dialogue with us and come to a very good compromise, and we say, okay, then let's increase our lorry fares to this percentage. Normally, everybody will embrace it. And if not, and we wake up tomorrow, so effective from tomorrow, nobody should work. We should be mindful, it's not the government who buy the vehicles for us. We bought our vehicles on our own. We maintain it on our own, and we are working to make sure we also make small profit on it. So if our people embrace it, and we don't work, and a sick person is to be transported from one village to the big city because we are not working, we don't do, and that sick person dies. Tomorrow, if we call off the strike, how do we resurrect the person? We are not saying, when West come to West, we'll take that decision, but we don't believe in, radical actions. We believe in dialogue. So now that we've put it on board, we believe government will see wisdom in what we are saying. They will definitely get closer and will come up with something reasonable.
Okay, we wish the GPRT well and all drivers, and we hope the government listens, as you say. Is there any final word you want to say to the drivers and also those who use your vehicles?
We are getting to December, and normally during this festive mood, there are a lot of businesses attracting our people to travel to places they've never been before, or at times overspeeding, making sure you have to go faster than you used to do. We plead with all drivers across board that this is our profession. Currently our profession has no good name. Anybody who hits the road is a driver. But anytime there is a problem, it's being attributed to a professional commercial driver. So we should be very careful. We should reduce the accident more than what is on record. How do we do that? We have to go by the road signs and the instructions, by maintaining our vehicle also. If you know you have a defective tire, try to change it so that you protect yourself. If you know you are having problem with your vehicle, don't take that attitude by let me go and come. Make sure you rectify it before going, so that we make sure our profession becomes the best out of the whole lot.
Thank you very much, Abbas Ibrahim Moro. This is the Lowdown. My name is Niakwe Ismail Okwe. We've been talking about the road safety and how transportation, or the transportation industry, drives the economy. And there are so many issues that need to be looked at, and our guest has taken us through all of them and given some solutions and advice as well to drivers and to all stakeholders. Watch us every week on GhanaWeb TV. This is the Lowdown. Be safe.
Hello, this is Dr. Samson Asala from the Medifem Multi-Specialist Hospital and Fertility Center. Over the past 2 episodes, we've been talking about the disease progression of breast cancer. We've mentioned that there are 3 identifiable stages of disease progression. The first is the localized breast cancer. The second is the locally invasive breast cancer. These we've talked about in the previous episodes. Today, we are going to talk about the metastatic breast cancer. Metastatic breast cancer is that stage of the disease where the breast cancer cells move far away from the breast to other tissues and cause different symptoms. Now, the breast cancer cells can move into the spinal column, they can move into the liver, and they can move into the brain. It is very difficult at this stage to have cure of the breast cancer. Most of the time, when breast cancer spreads to this stage, the best we can do is to improve the quality of life of our patients. There are many tests that we do at this stage and different treatment modalities for metastatic breast cancer. We are going to talk in our next episodes about the various treatments that can be given for the various stages of breast cancer. Do join us again. Thank you.
What can I say? Congratulations. The media these days is not easy. I think that you guys are doing your very best. And when I look at the team of people who are doing this work, I can only congratulate you and hope that this team will maintain and move on to achieve much greater things. But congratulations. You're doing a good job.
Residents of Botiano, Redtop, Adaklu, West Hill City, Weja SEC, and other adjoining communities have reportedly been living in fear these past few weeks because of activities which have been happening within this enclave. Today on Say It Loud, we'll be speaking to a chairman of the Landlords and Residents Association who will be giving us a dive into exactly what has been happening in these areas, which is causing these massive fear among residents. My name is Lord Harris Edwasari. When we return from the break, we introduce our guest and delve into the conversation. Please stay tuned.
Hello, my name is Kofi Otri Dakwa, and I'm very excited to be part of the GhanaWeb Road Safety Campaign. Once you get behind your steer, you should know that you're not the only one that you're protecting. You're also protecting other people. So please conform to what you see on the road in terms of the speed limits, go by the speed limits. Another thing I'd like to say is that please, no matter how small it is in terms of alcohol, once you know you're going to drive, don't drink. So go ahead, do the right thing, save a life.
Welcome back. You're still watching Say It Loud with me, Lord Harris Edwasari. Today, our guest is the chairman of the West Hills Landlords and Residents Association in the person of Reverend Redu Entry. Reverend Entry, why are residents of West Hills living in fear?
We've been living in fear for about a month now, apparently because of rampant earth tremor experiences we've been having. You know, this place is one of the earmarked earthquake-prone zones.
That is true.
And sometime about a month ago, we've been experiencing the frequency is very high, and the intensity too is very high. So having at the back of our minds that here is an earthquake-prone zone and experiencing it frequently, more than past years.
What you have been used to.
What we are used to. And again, the intensity being so severe, naturally, everybody will be afraid and be panicking. So that is the kind of fear in which we are now. And initially, we thought that was a natural thing, not knowing it wasn't, because we never saw it reported in any of the national media platforms. And people began to report cracks of their properties, their walls, and their TVs falling from the walls on our association platforms.
Because of the tremor? Because
of the tremor. Then, once we also didn't pick any clue that is being reported by the Geological Survey and any of the media houses, we realized, oh, the spread probably is not wide enough. But then we had an intel that this is as a result of the Chinese construction that is going on down there, because they are doing blasting of rocks. Down towards the mall, Western Mall.
Okay.
The opposite the Fortune City.
Okay. Which company is that?
It's a Sunda manufacturing company. They're doing massive earthworks there towards construction of a new factory. So one Saturday, last week Saturday night, we had a massive shake, a tremor. People reported, and as a leader, we quickly had to move to Sunda. I went there with one of our members who's a civil engineer, Engineer Obiatia, and Dan, one of our traditional leaders from Botswana who lives here. We went there, we approached the Chinese, they admitted that yeah, they did the blasting. It was around 7:30 p.m. They did the blasting. We demanded to have their permit. They declined giving us the permit. So right there, we reported the matter to the MC and the MP. I can say that the two gentlemen were magnanimous enough. They availed and convened a meeting between, the MP convened a meeting between the association and the managing director of Sunda.
Was the EPA involved in this? Was it
no,
initially
EP wasn't involved. In fact, it happened Saturday, the bad day, the MP convened the meeting. He was very strict. We gathered there, and he requested Sunda Manufacturing Company to put a halt to it, to stop the blasting, and let us judge and find a better option of doing that, because he's received numerous complaints to the extent that an old woman who is bedridden had to be evacuated and sent to East Legon because of the rampant and the frequency of the tremor.
Oh, really?
Yes. And people's TV also falling from the wall. The MD assured us, but they went, and that same day started blasting.
So we realized that you released a statement on Saturday.
Yes.
Did the MP and the MC have the meeting with management of the company after your statement or before the statement?
It was before the statement.
Oh, before the statement?
Yeah, before the statement. The first option, we went in there to engage them. They didn't comply. They kept doing it. We escalated it to the MC and the MP. The MP met us with the MD. They still didn't budge it. They kept doing it. So last Saturday's statement that I issued was as a result of another major tremor that we experienced as a result of the blasting.
Okay.
That made us trigger it to the media. So if they didn't respect the MP and the MC, let's take it to the media. Broader stakeholders, so to come to the attention of broader stakeholders, including the Minerals Commission that issued the permits to them, including Geological Survey. We are looking also up to EPA. This has become a national security matter, so national security and security apparatus will also pick it. And then conversation will ensue for us to get a lasting solution to it. So that is what we did.
I see. You mentioned the
fact that security agencies such as the NIB got involved. We earlier on got reports that some residents were picked up by these security agencies. Is there any truth in that, or has it come to your notice?
I'm not aware, but what I know is that the NIB agents too have been very phenomenal, and they called me to hear our side of it. They did a community tour to identify some of the cracks of people's property that they see, and they move in with them, understanding and appreciating from the first-hand information the magnitude of the problem. They engaged a Sunda company to put an end, immediate seizure of the blasting, so that we can meet and find a better option, just as the MP also proposed. And they were firm on them, and that brought a stop to it. That was after we issued a statement. Yeah, so NIB has also been very phenomenal and very helpful in this direction.
Okay.
Yeah.
Prior to the meeting with management of the company, seeing you, the MC, the MP, and the management, had there been any activities of the company which was detrimental to residents in the area? Because it's a residential area, and with the company not a company at that not being far away, what are some of the effects that it has had on?
Before I come to that, let me make this clear. Yesterday, under the auspices of the Municipal Chief Executive Officer, we had a stakeholder meeting, including the NIB, the Assembly, the residents, the Sunda, and the Minerals Commission. And we've agreed on a roadmap.
Okay.
The Minerals Commission should come up with an impact assessment pending a resolution, so that we can chart a better way of the Chinese doing it, not to impact on the residents and people's property. And in the meeting, we agreed that that will be done, a committee will be formed, that will be meeting to resolve this thing before we come up with a better way and acceptable means for the Chinese to do it in a wholesome manner. Based on the meeting and the confidence we have also in the meeting, we don't want to undermine it. We cannot give much, but let me say it on record that we have approached the MC, the MP, and the Chinese themselves on the unsafe way of doing the earthworks and their normal operational activities. One, they are doing massive earthworks, and it involves about 20 to 30 trucks that cross from the site to the laydown where they dump the topsoil and the rocks. They cross the main road that we use. Instead of a normal safety management protocol, putting just one person there with a green and red flag to regulate their trucks and other road users, it's not done. So the loaded trucks, when they are coming and you do not do defensive driving and stop when you even have right of way, they can just crash you. You can interview the taxi drivers around to find out another road user. It's so terrible. We've reported to them over and over. We are not seeing results. The diaper factory there, they burn the waste product openly.
They own a diaper factory as well?
Yeah, diaper factory down there. They burn the waste product openly. Instead of using industrial incinerator to manage the waste, they burn it openly with smoke daily over years.
How long have they been?
They generate massive dust. Instead of using water buzzer to water it so that the road becomes what? The dust becomes controlled. They don't. You complain, instead of even they will come and do it, but not with a water buzzer, but with what do you call concrete mixer. And that will make the road even worse off. So clearly, there are a lot of challenges they are posing, and they are also not cooperating, not at all.
How long have residents been putting up with this?
Oh, for the This factory was commissioned about 3-4 years ago. So about 4 years. About 4 years ago.
And during this period, you have reported to the EPA, MC, and MP, and despite all the reports, nothing has been done.
You know the typical Chinese philosophy and culture of lack of respect for indigenes and local governments, as clearly demonstrated at the Galamsey activities that we all see in this country. The MC have gone to them several times. MP have spoken to them, the previous and the current MP, they wouldn't mind. They don't mind. So my worry is EPA active and monitoring these factories? Is the Industrial Inspection Bureau or division within the Ministry of Trade working at all? Do they come around there, they see that the waste products are being burnt openly?
You mentioned that you have videos, and so it means you obviously have some visual evidence. Have you taken up and reported to the EPA with some of these?
Not directly to the EPA with the visual, but in terms of report, we've done it, but we've reported to the MC and the MP. Even the current issue, the MP has notified the Chief Executive Officer of the EPA.
Okay.
Yes, I've also cited the letter that invited the EPA to come for the meeting that we had the stakeholder. They didn't show up.
The stakeholder meeting you had?
Yes, EPA didn't come.
Okay, and did they give any reason?
No reason to my best of knowledge. Probably the MC will be able to tell. But such an important issue, you cannot gloss over. You cannot treat it as if it's not important. No. Look at the enclave, look at the kind of buildings and the number of people who live here. Massive, wide area. If you allow them, yes, they've been burning it openly. When are they going to stop? Is that a normal practice? Can this be done in China? Can this be done in any proper environment that human beings, life of human beings are valued? No.
Okay, yeah, you indicated earlier that Chinese culture, I think it would be a general statement if you say that it's a normal thing for them to be involved in some of the things that you have mentioned, because I believe there are some other Chinese companies in the country that are obliging to the lay down rules and all that.
Oh, the reason why I'm saying Chinese culture, if you understand business language and practices and culture around business setup, clearly that of America, Australia, Canada is entirely different from that of Chinese. The Chinese one we all know is ruthless. They don't give respect to human beings, and they can do. Chinese still believe that, hey, we can pay our way through and do whatever we want. Look at what is happening at the Galamsey side. But and they also know that, hey, after all, Ghana, we can just do it and go.
But we still have some legit ones who are doing the
Can you cite one? But I've given enough evidence to the contrary that we've lived here with these people over years, and that their practices. It's what even just one person to hold 2 flags for safety of this massive earthworks, they've glossed over it. We've said it time and countless, they are not even bringing such a person there to regulate it. What kind of culture is that? I've worked with American company before. They don't do that.
Talking of
safety is utmost important. And the philosophy is that nothing is what? It's worth doing in an unsafe manner. None.
So from your experience?
From my experience, as compared to that of the Chinese. 2, clearly, a civil business entity would have done massive engagement of the people before starting even the earthworks, before starting the blasting. None of this nature. It's about safety. It's about their culture. That's how they are. Again, and instead of applying our laws so that they are regulated, none. We push for their EIS, environmental impact statement, to know the risk, the disturbance they've caused to the road.
Risk assessment and all that.
The risk assessment, mitigation methods or strategies to solve all these problems. We didn't see one. They are not showing them to us. Is it not a culture of Chinese? Coupled with Ghana allowing anything to happen? but we've indicated clearly to them in a civil way that we will not countenance their behavior any longer. Because we are experiencing it. EPA is not experiencing the smoke daily basis. Our children are traveling on the road to school. We are also traveling on the road to work. We are not experiencing, EPA and other stakeholders are not experiencing the risk. We are. And the laws of Ghana gives us the right to defend ourselves. It is enshrined even in what? In our constitution. It's entrenched in our national anthem. So we've told them, we've indicated to them in a nice way with respect that no longer are we going to tolerate that. We won't sit down for fatality to happen before we rise up. We will not also sit down for them to what? To impact us significantly with the smoke before what? We rise up. Now is the time. Well, for the down 4 years, they've taken it freely. Going forward, they must do the right thing.
After the consultative meetings, the stakeholder meetings, were there timelines drawn as to when to expect some?
There were timelines drawn and specific decisions reached. EPA, no, a Mineral Commission is supposed to come up with a, what do you call it, impact assessment.
Okay.
Then we all, number 2, Sunda supposed to stop the blasting. This blasting is sitting at the center of a peri-urban. This is not a peri-urban, an urban environment. It's sitting at the center of urban environment. And this place is a residential area, even where they are working, until it was recently rezoned to be a light industrial area. So they came to meet us here. We've welcomed them, we've lived without any hostility, because we appreciate the national development what goals of what the country. Ghana must develop, people need employment fine, but it doesn't mean that it should be done out of law. It should be done within the context of law and safety. Giving us employment and killing the rest. Giving us employment and subjecting us to a higher risk of possible or probable earthquake. Is it a good deal we should go in for? No. I believe that there are better engineering options to do their blasting. And just as I said, I don't want to undermine the committee's work that we are about to do. We've indicated to them clearly they should also respect that going forward, they need to live with us in a humane and civil manner.
Okay. Any additional thoughts or any other words you want to add up?
I will thank you, and I'll give her a commendation to the MP and the MC and the NIB agents. They've been phenomenal in solving this problem. Over and over, they've approached it with respect to this blasting and evidence that they've seen. I mean, they've moved in swiftly to solve it, and the Minerals Commission gentleman Collins too, I mean, when confronted with the realities, I've also realized the need for them to halt. And that is what we are all looking out for. We don't hate them, they don't hate us. So we are optimistic that we find a solution to it, and we will live peacefully with Sunda.
Yeah, but before I go, in the events that after the meetings, a solution, an amicable solution is not obtained, what is the West Hills Landlords and Association going to do about it?
My understanding to your question is that if you do not find amicable solution, it means that Sunda is not living within the context of the laws of the country. That is how I see it. Because you are blasting to build your factory. And building of your factory is destroying people's factory and structural integrity. Stop for us to find a better option. Say that no, you do it. The permit has conditions. Clearly, they breached the permit conditions. As when we met yesterday, clearly they breached some of the permit conditions. It's obvious. In that context, we also exercise our right within the context of the laws of the land. We protect our properties. we protect our families and protect our lives within the context of what? Of the law. That one I can assure you.
All right. Thank you for these revelations, Reverend Radio Entry. We'll see how the authorities will react to this, and we'll be following keenly and see how that goes.
You are most welcome. It is said that in secrecy evil thrives. Once you've unearthed them to the whole world, certainly I know the sobriety that has brought to bear on Sunda people will continue to have a positive outcome. So we are also grateful to you. Thank you as well.
Today we have been speaking with the chairman of the West Coast City Landlords and Residents Association, who's been sharing with us some adverse effects that a construction company in the area has been having on structures here. Essentially, he's saying that after meetings with the management, the MC, MP, and Minerals Commission, he's hoping that the right thing will be done so that the sanity and safety of residents in this area can be assured. We are currently at the Dunkuna taxi rank, otherwise known as the Malcolm taxi rank, where we are going to engage some residents who are essentially taxi drivers about how the activities of the company that we spoke about earlier is affecting them. And Pacha, you're frozen?
Pacha, I'm the Sechi.
Okay, Mr. Sechi. Well, as a resident, company, how does that affect you?
The affecting what happened, say, Sakas and Cassiano, or when I'm someone to Mwasi. And now, yellow do taxi for yellow na aircon, and I feel almost our son will boom through the Guyaso. Sample ye the only one. No more Babe Guyaso, no maybe Sion, no Futuro, or move Guyaso, and we say no, at the area, and the South Coronavirus Nabano, a bit me are high. Yaquano sing yet. Quano send commotion no Muses or Mojo no Muses, Tail and Cassian so, or move boom through Guyaso, a high, Tia Slab Bang. Omomra boy can to me say na cross kwano ni yenye baby mfa nti esram aban mra mahwen na ye mobo pa.
Apart from the fact that taxi driver no okay
me mete area me here mete red top baby yellow du kon okay na hoye dunkuna ho na yete
nti yete say omo blaste fencing the omo blaste be Saturday na it caused something like an earthquake. How did it affect people? When you say if you are something happened to you.
And not the blasting the no kwaya me media and meme.
Okay.
Me hu hwe so.
What you emphasize?
It's red top dog, dunkina red top.
Okay.
E ho anso na omo yes ha blasting no. We feel one sound we red top. Nti me de and meme.
Okay.
So omo blasted bona. It me matter say the earthquake a shaking. It me matter say the earthquake man a shaking. There is one who say a dining also. Sometimes no one say a ba. This is the earthquake. No, so be come no. Omo waran, but there's a near earthquake na. Omo no more blast a bone into nema. Sa shaking no eba.
How long now? Never say ACC.
Oh man, na buying once in a broom way. Go on my week no na betting your baby 2 times. Oh man, no my jaya once in a broom way na aba. As a earthquake no. Best thing, maybe a blasting and a serious. So now, better say dining is shaky.
I say, I'm paying. When you go far, I say,
okay, me so far, no, maybe we so be as a BBS will be near my but what plug go out the be near them to say, one had the better free just say. Because blasting and is serious. Oh, since it's here, okay, I don't know, send the SSA. The near money they were blasting a con and come inform me a crop said they are coming to do no baby BBC crop on I away. So baby BBC to know better. But I told the what to say. BB shaky diner on the assay. And then a higher.
Also, how now? I'm not affected.
Okay, maybe I'll check out blasting no more and actual blasting maybe I want to say any watch you into a buffet or more around. South of now blasting a buffet or but yet we go ever say. Blasting or her. Yeah, your baby more niche.
Okay.
What I say to hand and free anything. Yeah, but that's some of the blasted the enemy. Yeah, bow to me stop here. say Yinjina, Momia blast of a blast near Bishop. Sanity. And I mean, I never quite a hammy pan say, Sa Sunda Fortune or Hono, Channy Fortune or Hono, or one no more Fortune. And almost no use Sa Toga Casino. Sa Tirano, or one almost at your neighbor Paco. But there we are a walk of fat Tipacas, so to a here, a quadasa. But that's it, other. Well, we number mail road or corner. Not Tipaka or no feet or Baby Joshua, so one drama. No cross speed into here. This is what about working. And fun. This is the main problem you face. And I say, you officer, Yakano. Go ahead. At good or carry to me, send us a sequano. Bear too soon will be alpha. Now, a quano, as a home tea. You so try to me, Yajma. Open say, yes, is a man said to do in your packet. Can't be out to me, can't be out to me. Yakwana say, Yadoko, Massa. O cara de baú tu pum fa koso just o packet can on anti but and I say I go say on the titi say omo ba adwuma say do ba e boss space na ya pon because kwan e kwa very bad ye ntumi nko e say pon what you say but pele say the best say continue ntumi problem say sa sunda for no omo kasa che omo davers no e tira davers ne atukuta davers no and say atipakas no some omo say ye ba ye na me mero ne e ba into who was wakɔsa ɔhwena sɛ ɔbɛn ne sɛ ɛyɛ kɔnta na ɔkɔ ɛyɛ dodo na ɔkɔ nti sɛ ɛtɛ na ɔbɛtu akɔnti nyawotɛ na taxi na ɛmɛtwam ebi na wonim kaa na ɛba ebi na wonim ne problem a ɔde ba nto ɔna mɛroad na wo ba no wasɔ ano huu ɔna sɛ condition wasɔ ne condition waburo gas na ɔtwam fum woyɛ listen ɔbɛkum ɔngyina ma o but asɛm yɛ ka no bla ɛyɛ asɛm ketewa serious case
the same thing so because o hwe kwan na kwan nya because ebi otola ntimi ba o hwe betum ko abo eku because say like you say ban be because na kwan tie no ebi o taxi nko asese sisi o
omuni obi a ogina ho a ode ebi a trafficator direct me say
obi ani oza because I don't know meaning there because say my basic company say and now mutim nya kwan there I don't see the reason why is you entin say mutim nya kwan because ebo kwa nso to kwa untimi o nso timi ta ho like can't me ko untimi mba ntino yesa aban say utimi be ya kebe bo an.
Well, so those were some concerns raised by taxi drivers here at the Malcolm taxi rank. Essentially, they are saying that they want some level of sanity as far as the usage of the road is concerned. They are pleading that in as much as both the drivers and the company trucks are using the road, they should be moderate in the way they speed, and they want the roads to be fixed and things to be taken care of. My name is Lord Harris Ibrasari, and this has been another edition of Say It Loud.
My name is Latif Abubakar, a playwright, CEO of Globe Productions. As a playwright, I led my team to educate the masses on road safety regulations through a theater production titled Men Don't Die. I think that is not what we actually need. We need to be very religious on issues of road safety. Just as we were religious when it came to issues of HIV/AIDS by wearing condoms, and we were religious when it came to issues of COVID-19 by wearing masks and washing our hands regularly, I think that we should also be religious when it comes to road safety by wearing our seatbelts and obeying the road safety regulations. I'm glad to be part of the GhanaWeb Road Safety Campaign project. Do the right thing, save a life. God bless you.
Nkrumah. He's the Minister for Information and Member of Parliament, MP for Fuase Ayuebi constituency. Welcome, sir.
This morning, let me congratulate the Ghana Economic Forum for the consistency with which you have put together what we at the Ministry of Information consider to be one of the most important platforms for this country. The Ghana Economic Forum has over the years evolved into the most credible stage on which an objective analysis of the Ghanaian economic status, its prospects, its challenges takes place. It has become the most believable place to agree on what all stakeholders in the Ghanaian economy need to do if the full aspiration of the Ghanaian people is to be achieved. And right from the onset, I want to add my voice to the many who spoke yesterday, urging that the resolutions that come out of here be taken very seriously. My task is a very, very, very simple one. It's to set the tone for the day 2 conversations. And the conversations today are geared towards driving economic development through entrepreneurship, technology, and innovation. And I want to make my remarks very brief. Sometimes we make the mistake of thinking that the Ghanaian economy started from the time when there were statistics to quantify GDP and growth and inflation and all of those. But long before macroeconomic statistics found their place in Ghana, Ghana still had an economy. This pre-colonial economy was an economy totally driven by the private sector. Agriculture, industry, trading, services. The local cassava, plantain, or yam farmer, the market woman who bought and sold his produce, the gold miner, the blacksmith, these were all entrepreneurs. Entrepreneurship was the backbone of economic survival and development at that time. And the Ghanaian was an entrepreneur. Our forebears who built great cities and kingdoms did so funded by and on the back of entrepreneurship. But when governance systems started changing around 1844, when the Bond of 1844 and its antecedents took place, with the advent of colonization, a new dimension for achieving economic survival and development started. Public service institutions, public service jobs, and expectations on the public service have since been thought to hold the key to our economic expansion and development. With the advent of multi-party democracy and the multiplicity of media, the Ghanaian is gradually, inadvertently being oriented to think that the answer to our economic questions, growth, jobs, development, and our well-being, lies in expanding the public service, or at best making it more efficient. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, I share in the demand for an efficient public service, a public service that works with the highest sense of urgency to resolve our challenges, and a public service that deals with the things that matter to us now. I share in the view that as much as possible, the public service should accommodate as many of our young people who can contribute to an efficient public service delivery. However, I want to, in all humility, submit to you this morning that even the most efficient public service cannot be a substitute for the role of the private sector and entrepreneurship in our development agenda. It cannot be a substitute as to how far and how quickly we can move forward in answering the questions of our economic fortunes as a country. Entrepreneurship, the culture of individuals or groups of individuals in the private sector developing products and services which help to maximize opportunities around us, which helps us to resolve our personal, community, and national challenges at a profit, is still the most significant instrument if we are to get the majority of our people, particularly young people, economically engaged and economically rewarded. Orienting our people that entrepreneurship, innovation, and technology lie within our own hands, that we need to develop our own technologies and solutions that will make our society better off, as against waiting for an expansion of the public sector to accommodate all our interests, is a challenge, however, which we have not met well enough. The principles of economic self-determination, which lie at the heart of any country's ability to build its own products and services and then export to other territories, must now more than ever be reignited, particularly in our young ones. And that's why I'm excited that we're having this conversation today. Ladies and gentlemen, for this change in paradigm to occur, we at the Ministry of Information would like to nominate a few ideas for your consideration as you go about your conversations today. First, The conversations around entrepreneurship, its prospects, resolving its bottlenecks, and highlighting the rewards of entrepreneurship must be mainstreamed as one of the most important conversations in this country. A nation that spends all its time discussing issues that do not align with its true value drivers will hardly motivate its teeming youth to align with those true value drivers. If entrepreneurship, private business, innovation, and technology are the most significant pillars in economic recovery, then our best energies, our best attention must be directed there. Our public conversations on traditional media, digital media, and all other platforms must reflect what we believe is the most important value driver for our economic transformation. We cannot spend all our times discussing allegations, suspicions of one another. We cannot spend all our time comparing who is the richest pastor, debating partisan political positions, and for the younger ones, we cannot spend all our times amplifying social media beefs and expect that entrepreneurship will gain its pride of place in our national life. We must make it the most important conversation, the most important national conversation, if we truly want entrepreneurship and private sector development to take its rightful place. And so I say to you, number one, entrepreneurship development must seize our national consciousness. Number two, if indeed the most important stage in life is our formative years, and education is the most important part of our formative years, then we cannot also leave our young ones in school learning all the available academic theories about everything else and not learning about entrepreneurship as a core subject. I recently heard a joke about a young man who was in search of a job and met an old math teacher of his. The teacher expressed his lack of surprise that this young man was still unemployed 10 years after school. You were poor in maths, and you were never serious about maths, he's reported to have said. The former student in response reportedly lashed out. Well, sir, when you were teaching us how to find X and Y, how many of us were going to find a job or create jobs by finding X and Y? My point is that whatever we choose to include in academic curricula, one field of academic work which I believe should now be taught across all levels of education as a core subject, just like literacy, numeracy, and science, is entrepreneurship. So that no matter what else a Ghanaian child has studied, he or she will also be equipped with the basic orientation to use that technical knowledge even in building his or her own business out of it. Number three, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, we believe that the state must offer more support for growing an entrepreneurial ecosystem in this country. Successive governments have tried and have made efforts. I recall the Kufuor administration rolling out the Venture Capital Trust Fund in addition to other initiatives. The Mills Mahama administration rolling out the Youth Enterprise Fund in addition to some other initiatives. The Akufo-Addo administration has been rolling out the National Entrepreneurship and Innovation Program in addition to turning around the MDSSI to the Ghana Enterprises Agency, and I see Kosi Yankee here who is doling out a lot of money for that purpose. But I believe we all can agree that looking at the enormity of the challenge ahead of us, we need to quadruple our efforts as a country at the minimum. We need to provide avenues for more technical support, patient capital, and paradigm orientation if truly we want to see more young people take up entrepreneurship. Government policy must be bolder, larger, and more focused in support of growing entrepreneurship in Ghana and indeed across the African continent. Number four, ladies and gentlemen, we need to de-risk failure for young entrepreneurship. The risk of failure for young entrepreneurs is still very high in this country in terms of finances, reputation, regulatory compliance and its consequences. The risk to entrepreneurship is way too high in Ghana today. But if the statistics of entrepreneurship across the world is anything to go by, then not even 50% of startups will actually survive and go beyond 5 years. What it means is that the ecosystems that have succeeded in making entrepreneurship the norm and not the exception in other parts of the world have, among other things, made the risk of failure minimal and provided safety nets even for those who fail. And we must do the same, if not better. Already, existent private sector operators as a fifth pillar are doing their bit in supporting entrepreneurship. But I want to challenge you today that a lot more needs to be done by private sector. Elsewhere, already existing private capital is very interested in pooling angel investors, private equity funding, technical support to help grow new businesses. Mentoring and technical support and supply chain prioritization for younger local business owners should be our priority too in the private sector. Supporting especially young female entrepreneurs instead of seeking to take advantage of them at every turn will help us a lot more. Out of already existent profits and without necessarily expecting anything in return, banks, insurance companies, and blue chips must make it a hard deliverable to help grow the next generation of Ghanaian businesses. It is in our collective interest to do so. Finally, ladies and gentlemen, we must invest more in stimulating the development of innovation and technology locally. On the part of government, Cabinet has decided to apply 1% of GDP towards research and innovation programs. It's a bold step in the face of limited resources. But it is what we must do if we truly want to reverse this tide. We will, however, need the complementary effort of academia and private sector to help fund the new frontiers of locally developed innovation and technology. And so business incubators, technology, coding hubs, innovation competitions for young people must be supported by all of us. We at the Ministry of Information believe that more of our money, collectively, public sector and private sector, more of our attention, more of our promotion, must go towards these areas if we are to harvest the fruits of entrepreneurship and really gain significant results in the private sector growth agenda. Ladies and gentlemen, my hope is that today's conversations will build even beyond these 6 ideas that we have nominated, and that the College of more experienced heads and hands that are here today will pull together a template of focal areas to which we can recommit ourselves if we are to make the agenda of private sector development the true engine of growth in our lifetime. Once again, congratulations, and I wish you all the best.
Hello, this is Dr. Samson Asala from the Medifair Multi-Specialist Hospital and Fertility Center. Over the past 2 episodes, we've been talking about the disease progression of breast cancer. We've mentioned that there are 3 identifiable stages of disease progression. The first is the localized breast cancer. The second is the locally invasive breast cancer. These we talked about in the previous episodes. Today, we are going to talk about the metastatic breast cancer. Metastatic breast cancer is that stage of the disease where the breast cancer cells move far away from the breast to other tissues and cause different symptoms. Now, the breast cancer cells can move into the spinal column, they can move into the liver, and they can move into the brain. It is very difficult at this stage to have cure of the breast cancer. Most of the time, when breast cancer spreads to this stage, the best we can do is to improve the quality of life of our patients. There are many tests that we do at this stage and different treatment modalities for metastatic breast cancer. We are going to talk in our next episodes about the various treatments that can be given for the various stages of breast cancer. Do join us again. Thank you.
Um, 22 is not, what do you call it? It's not a small feat in terms of a business running a business from the scratch to 22 years is something that you should applaud yourself for. That's number one. Number two, from where you started from and where the space, that media space has gotten to right now, I think you've actually paid some of your, what do you call it, you've made it more creditable, you've made that medium more creditable, and you've made it more profitable for brands such as what we have in our portfolio. I did say that you've done a good job. I would say that you keep doing more. You add more content, you try and be dynamic in terms of what you offer your clients, just as us. Let's continue to grow together. Let's continue to explore the different new channels, digital new channels that will come up, and then see how best we can make good use of them. Yeah, that's it. And I did say kudos to all you guys. You've done your best, and we hope to see more of GhanaWeb around in the next maybe 50 years to 100 years. Yeah.
Office romance, they say, can get you crazy. Now imagine a colleague being all over your man. Like, please, can you get your hands off my man? Is it always the case that romance can get into the way of your work? Or people say that it's a no-no affair when it comes to office romance. But some too say that love always wins. On this episode of Mons and Cuddles, my guest and I discuss the nitty-gritties of office romance. I am Paulina Deda Opoku. We'll be right back. You're welcome back to Mons and Cuddles on GhanaWeb TV. Now today's topic, once you work, you're not a stay-at-home mom or dad, it will be of interest to you. The act of balancing office romance. Yeah, you might have heard someone in the office space who is dating a colleague, or maybe you yourself. Like, how do you balance it? Because a lot of people say that it has a lot of disadvantages compared to the advantages. So right on this episode of Mons and Cuddles, my guest and I will all bring the negative, the hearsays, and if once you are into it, how best you balance it with your work. So now today I have here with me Mystic Mike. Mystic, you're welcome back to Mons and Cuddles.
Many thanks for having me.
I'm always glad to see you because, you know, I like how you say the thing. You don't cut corners, straight to the point. You just drop it there.
Exactly. If it must be done, it must be done well.
It must be done well. Good to have you. Franca, It's always a pleasure having you because you are one of the few women who say things like, you know, women, we like to say things for the women's side. But with you, I know you are straight to the point. If you are not right, you say it as it is. So it's good to have you back on Moons and Cuddles.
Nice being here.
All right. Francisca Ashon is an HR practitioner. So HRDs, you know a lot of our HRs, when you're having an office romance, they say that no, it will interfere with work. So today, dear, please, you will explain to us why you're particular about it and if it has more disadvantages compared to the advantages. And then Mystic is a journalist. Mystic. So we have full force. We're ready to go.
Certainly.
All right. So people say that when it comes to office romance, it will get into the way of your job. So would a person be unproductive if they have a relationship or their boyfriends or their girlfriends are in the same office space with them?
There's the risk that it can impact work.
Okay.
And that's why a lot of the business heads or business owners or the business managers, they are not too enthused about relationships or intimate relationships at work.
Okay.
In fact, with the banks, I understand there is a rule or a protocol that no lovers should be allowed.
Okay.
You know, so we've also heard that if you two meet at a workplace and you desire each other that much and you want to take it to the long haul, then one must resign. So one resigns and goes to find another work. Other companies also are a bit liberal. They will say no lovers at one branch. Whilst they will not forbid it, then there won't be lovers at the Dansuman branch of that entity. So there can be a lover in the general sense of it, the company, but then they have to work at different departments or branches. So one will be at Dansuman, one will be at La Paz or Usu, and someone will be at Jolo.
But what God has put together, let's no man.
You must understand that whilst he has positives, whilst he has things to be said for it, being intimate with a work colleague also comes with some negativity and some downside. Imagine having bunked the previous night or shagged the previous night, and then there was an issue, perhaps issues of infidelity, cheating and what have you, and so a partner is vexed and then takes that energy to the workplace the following day. If you are a front service personnel, you are going to relay that energy to clients and customers who come to you for inquiries or who come to you for service, just because a lover, you had an issue with your lover, and that can cost the business money, it can cost the business reputation, it can cost the business in various other ways through no fault of theirs. They didn't ask for your partner to be a cheat, so why should they pay for the indiscretion of that partner? So these are the nitty-gritties and the pros and cons, some of the pros and cons of having intimate partners on a team.
All right, but I beg to differ, because some people can be very professional with their relationship at work. But let me take this from Franca. So can someone be less productive when they're involved in office romance?
I would like to first of all take it from this angle. So modern organizations actually admit and understand the fact that as a human entity, there is likely to be this kind of attraction that can occur. Okay, so I think most organizations now are emphasizing more on the fact that sexual harassment is not accepted, and they are educating their employees more on this. Why did I mention sexual harassment? Because once people are into a relationship and they're in the same organization, say the same branch, okay, same location, what is going to happen is that the tendency of the man or the woman trying to be naughty at work is great. Okay, so at the expense of work. So probably a working period, a man will intentionally send message to a girlfriend who might be in a different department or different cubicle or something, and they may end up using productive time maybe in a washroom somewhere, You can't tell. You see, so for organizations, it's because of this. And you know, there are some men, if they want to have you and you say no, they get angry. And at that material moment, an anger, and assuming the person is going to work with figures. So if this person is angry and is going to work with figures, you can imagine how confused that person is going to be. So you can imagine the impact it's going to have on the organization. So most of the recent organizations, though they advise people on this sexual harassment, also are of the view that if you want to keep a relationship, most of the time it shouldn't be someone who is your direct reports or you are in the direct reporting line with. They also will say that, okay, if you are in the different departments and you have no link whatsoever with whoever you are in the relationship with, it can be overlooked.
It can be overlooked.
But as I said, so many things make organizations want to shy away from this office romance thing.
Okay.
Though it has its advantages, for me, I think that once the disadvantages will have more impact on the organizational productivity, we have to be careful and look at it. So yes, it does impact on organizational productivity if not handled with care.
All right, Franca, you've said a lot, but then people have argued that once there's an office romance, you're dating someone, whether it's that you are intimate or it's just a relationship that you guys are both building, there can be issues of favor. So maybe if you don't even deserve a position, you don't even deserve something because you're sleeping around with the boss, you know, they can say, oh, you can have this promotion, you can get this thing. So how do you separate fair? Because you don't want to, people are working genuinely, they deserve to be promoted, even though maybe you haven't had a relationship with your boss. How do you separate it so your colleagues don't say, oh, there she goes again, she didn't deserve it?
Once you decide to have an office romance, you should know that you are likely to be a topic for discussion. That one, you cannot overemphasize it. You understand? People are likely to talk about you. Some of the things may be assumptions, okay? Some may be true. I say this because, well, I have worked in a lot of entities, and sometimes it's very glaring at the face. You know, you can actually read between the lines, and you can add A to B, and you realize that this one, especially when you feel that when we look at the output of your jobs, assuming you are two ladies, you look at the output of your jobs and you realize that there is this position, we are all eyeing this position. Everybody might know that maybe A is very efficient than B.
Yeah. So
but then maybe because B is having a relationship with some, it might not be even the direct boss, it might be some other boss, somebody who she's not even reporting to. But because the bosses meet at a particular level to discuss at management level, they have that rapport. So they can say, oh, why don't you just push this lady there? Just because of the relationship they have. So for me, I always advise young ladies out there that, look, if you go to work. Forget the office romance thing. Though it has a positive side, I always say just work. You know, I say just work because if you deserve it, people will think you don't deserve it. And it's an insult to your integrity. You see, it's an insult to your personality. Because assuming I know I'm capable, I'm hitting at everything I'm supposed to be doing right, and I'm hitting and making productivity for the company. And then someone thinks that, oh no, because the boss is his boyfriend, that is why she's getting the favor. It's an insult. And when that happens, your career ladder becomes a bit questionable. Because now you have to prove yourself to everywhere you go. Because if they hear that stigma, oh, this one, she likes dating big men or big bosses in the organization, your climbing of the ladder becomes difficult. Every step you take, they will think you are favored because of that.
Well, the submission you make that to ladies, if you find yourself in a workplace, just work. What happens with Franca? Let's be honest. You know, once you spend more time at a place, maybe let's say we're talking about work. So at the office, you get to go to lunch with the person. When you're having bad days, there's the same person you run to. How do you prevent yourself from not falling in love? Because some of them are real. Not that maybe we're just having sex. We just, you know, it's just a friend with benefit thing. In real life situation where you both like feel like this is it. How how do you balance it? Because
my brother said something from his earlier submission. He said that some are real, and I agree, some can be real.
Yeah.
But you see, emotions are such that you cannot control. Some are able to control, but to some magnitude, some level. Once emotions grow wild, it just goes like wildfire. You see, you will think that, oh, I can handle it when there is a breakup. I can handle it. I assure you, you will not be able to handle it. Because your work will be affected, everything you do will be affected, and it will even affect your relationship with other people in the organization, because you begin to feel you've been used and dumped. So for me, I think it's just not right. The emotion might be there, but we have to control ourselves when we go to the working sphere.
All right. Mistake.
Yeah.
So in a case where you are not able to control yourself, and then you're in a love, let me say, relationship with a guy or a woman at your workplace, how do you identify if it's just a fling or real love? Because you know some people, they just want to buy time with you at the office. They might not tell you maybe they have a serious girlfriend at home. So how do you identify? How do you, as a man or a woman?
So, you know, falling in love has no scientific formula. You can meet someone and then you would have very strong feelings for that person. Even married people will tell you when they go out, they meet people, and that's what that's what some of the married women say. I wish I had met you earlier.
Married men.
Aisha is the woman
men.
I had married men.
If I had met you, I wouldn't have married your wife. That thing is a lie.
Both ways, actually. I wish
women don't have. We hardly say that.
I wish we had crossed paths. You know, and that's what people say, because, and for those who are unmarried, it's one of the things that works on their mind, that what if I start dating Paula, or I start loving Paula, and then I step out, and or even not even if I start dating Paula, you might see Paula, you desire her, you take a step, you meet Dora, and you're like, God damn.
What were you all?
You know, so you are like, how do I settle with one person? It's actually the bane of many single people.
Does that apply to you too?
Of course. I mean, there are times you meet people and like, you know, because there's so much goodness out there. So the question is, if you are developing strong feelings or feelings for someone at the workplace, you must sit yourself down and ask yourself a few questions. All right. Is this me just wanting to get into the pant of this person? Is it me just having sexual attraction and I just want to taste it, see how she tastes like? Is it me just seeing a fine boy and I want to just have him? Is it me trying to use this person to advance my career opportunities? Because there's that also. People come to workplaces, they look around, you know, some of the mid-level senior members. So a young lady comes in and says, Charlie, Mr. Adom, okay, I think I can work on Mr. Adom, get Mr. Adom, get into his favor, get into his good graces. So that when management level things are being discussed, I can be positioned favorably.
Okay, great.
There's that. People come to workplaces and study the terrain, because they realize it isn't always going to be about hard work. Say me boy Juma, no, that alone wouldn't be enough. For them, let's use other means to accentuate the hard work that we already do. There are some who are there, and for some, they meet people at the workplaces and they want this for the long term. They don't want monkey business. They see you, they say, Paula, you are the one. You are the chosen one.
Exactly.
You are the one. I can't sleep without thinking about you. I can't be driving without thinking about you, Paula. When I come to work and I see you and I behold your beauty, Paula,
I can't work.
I thank the universe always for bringing you to existence. So for that person, if he tells Paula that this is how I feel about you, and Paula says, do you know what? I have been feeling same about you. And so if the two agree to give it a go, but then the policy at the workplace forbids it, then a decision must be made. A decision must then be made if truly this is what you ultimately want. So one of both partners will sit down and say, look, we want this. We want ourselves. We see ourselves having a future. But the company here says no way, and that if we must exist, then one must leave this company. So the two of you will come to that decision. Look at the pros and cons. Which one of you earns higher? Which one of you has a straighter path to ascending the corporate ladder here? So that you take the decision, look, I will leave this company so that you can stay on. I'll find another job, and then we marry.
Great.
Some people come to that realization, and it's worked for some people. It's also backfired for others, because this was an ultimate job for some, but they were swayed by love, gave it up, and the person, it didn't turn out to be the ultimate picture they painted. The relationship might have crumbled, and then so you ask yourself, why did I leave KPMG job for love? Why did I leave a tallow oil job for supposed love that did not yield any benefit in the long term? So there is that risk. And as human beings, even stepping away from our homes to town involves an inherent risk. Are you willing to take that risk? And would that risk be justified in the long term? These are the things that must be on our minds when we take such decisions.
All right. Hey, Chow, this one there. You want to chip in something?
I agree with him perfectly in what he said about the decision making. So, of course, yes. If you two decide that, oh, we desire each other so much and we cannot do without each other, then you really must sit and discuss. As I said, he mentioned all the points there. You weigh all the pros and cons and you say, damn all the odds. Let's go in out for it. And then one can step down for the other to just climb that social or corporate ladder that the person wants to climb.
Right.
So I think that it's all a matter of choices. But once it's conflicting with the organizational policy and the culture that the organization has, of course, it cannot be harbored.
Yeah. But Franca, with you, Mr. Jessamine, with you, I know you're not fully for the office romance, having a relationship in the workplace.
Not necessarily.
Not necessarily. You don't really. You get your stand.
Yeah, not
but
necessarily.
Then,
but
with the issue of people saying that it will get into the way of your job, you will not be productive. Let me give you an example. Prior to this conversation, I had the conversation with a girl who is dating someone who is in the same space with. Then she's saying that when she's having a bad day, and he tells her man that I'm having a bad day, he'll just come, just whisper one or two things, and then back to Joe, like.
The support system. That's a support system.
So you cannot say that it's equally bad, because that is an advantage.
No, Pauline.
So with that,
there's the gain. There's the positive.
Let's appreciate the positive.
No, we can discuss the positives.
Yeah,
we can. There are actually lots and lots of positives.
Yeah.
That I can tell you.
We cannot overlook
like you said,
that.
You mentioned one. It is beautiful.
Support system.
Some people just see you and they brighten up their day,
Yeah.
and they are able to operate within the capacity in which they are supposed to, and that is there, because then you know that my man is. There's another thing. The fact that you feel that your man is in the office and it's not looking at some other lady's ass somewhere.
Peace of mind.
You have this kind of security.
You're in the same space.
Exactly.
You close. You know his movement.
Exactly.
You even go together. You might be so you sit in the same car. You go.
Exactly. So that is one. So like I said, you have the comfort, you have the security, and there is a fact that productivity can become high. Why? Because assuming I have a boyfriend, he's making some balancing and he's not able, he's working at it, he's not able to, and I'm done with my job and I'm good in balancing, I'll quickly go help him to do the balancing, and there you go, the company has had its productivity.
Yeah.
So it is not that bad, as I said. So some companies don't actually frown on it. They only give the lay down rules that you have to go by. So assuming I am in company A and I think I'm in love with Eric, I've seen him, I like him. What some companies will do is that you have to tell your HR about it.
Okay. Oh,
oh yes.
So you don't have to keep it a secret.
HRs are the fathers and mothers of organizations. HRs are to have two faces. We have the hard face that tells you, hey, this must be done, it must be done right. And we have the motherly face that tells you, come on, let me give you a pat on the back. You need that shoulder to cry on. You can count on me. So HRs are supposed to be this two-face. So you can always walk up to your HR manager and discuss, HR, Mr. Eric and myself, we haven't this thing for each other. is so strong, and I feel society will look at me. I love him. I wish I can go ahead with him and have a relationship that will end into marriage. No HR will tell you that, hey, you have to stop this.
Frank, are you sure you're not going to break that bond?
They are not going to do that. I tell you, they will just give you the guidelines. They will give you what you ought to know for you to make your decision. They will tell you the pros and the cons for you to decide if this is what you want. As he said, some have gone ahead with this thing of thinking, brainstorming, and deciding that one leaves, and it has backfired. So HR will make all these points known to you and tell you, go reflect.
All right.
Come back to me with your answer. That is the job of an HR.
Right. So if you find yourself in an office romance, as Franca said, talk to your HR. Not all of them are into break their relationship. They might just give you the guide and all that. Now remember that Moons and Cuddles is proudly sponsored by Cheesy Pizza. Cheesy Pizza has got all you want from juices, smoothies, jollof, fried rice, pack and meatballs. We have great deals for you all week round. Cheesy Pizza gives you the McCheesy combo every Monday and Thursday. With only 49 cedis, you get one small pizza, fries and chicken, one Coca-Cola drink at all branches. Tuesdays are Super Tuesday at all Cheesy Pizza branches. Buy your Super Family Pizza at half price every Tuesday for 40 cedis at all Cheesy Pizza branches. Be part of the midweek bonanza every Wednesday. Buy and get one free at all Cheesy Pizza branches. And also remember to start your weekend with special jollof and fried rice from Cheesy Pizza branches every Friday. Call 026-413-3397 to place your order. Cheesy Pizza, your way. Now, my makeup was proudly done by Kiki Sadiq. So she's on Instagram. You can follow The Corporate Chick on Instagram. You can call Kiki on 055-2428-698. The Corporate Chick will glam you for all occasions. Now, Franca, it looks like Mr. K wanted to say something.
Yeah.
Just a quick one before we go on the break.
Another gain for the company is taking work home. So if you work in the same company and you are working on something at the work office and you take it home in bed, you know, you could finish it up. You know, you as Franca said, you are balancing the books, and maybe you are locked up at the balance sheet. You are doing the balance sheet, and then you know your lady can assist. So these are current assets, these are current liabilities. Help you with the deductions, so you can brainstorm, come back to work, and then when there's a brainstorming session at work, because you exchange ideas, because you judged, because you weighed things over, because you are both in the field, you are both doing the similar work. You are able to contribute and give other insights other members might not have had.
After you've had something,
you know exactly. But I reckon the fear of many business owners about having lovers at the workplace is that they can also conspire. They can also get together to cause malfeasance. They can cause together to rob and steal stock and then manipulate figures to cover up their tracks. So that's another fear that many business. Yeah, of course. You hear people have absconded with huge sums of money. People were sent to go and do withdrawals at the bank, and together with Nedofuna way back, they are gone. You know, so this is the fear, because they become you know, so they look at the weaknesses of the organization and they feel like, okay, I weak, you're the better. Charlie, I have someone who say a weak, you're the better. Together, they are able to mastermind the downfall of the company if they so desire, and that is a threat. And no business owner would look like kindly to that.
All right, all right. So we'll take a quick break here. When we come back, we're still discussing how to balance office romance. My name is Paulina Deda Opoku. This is Moons and Cuddles on GhanaWeb TV.
Right there.
back from that quick break. Now remember that Moons and Cuddles is proudly sponsored by Cheese Pizza. I think we could buy
certainly.
Yeah,
most certainly.
mistake.
Most certainly.
You should get your cheesy pizza, and as I stated earlier, they've got great deals for you all week round. So you could visit any of their branches.
It looks yummy though.
It looks. You should taste it. Hey, mistake. Frank, unless you help yourself, I'm saying, yeah, doggy will cry.
Those eating of pizza.
Come on, you can do it, Franca.
So imagine office romance. So you and your partner, you could buy yourself pizza and enjoy its lunch break. It doesn't spoil anything. Okay.
Okay, let's do this.
Franca, you know, we will, as we were talking about this or balancing office romance, some people say that people are not professional with it. You might see them in washrooms, you don't know where they are coming from. They're all over the place. But then are quickies allowed at the office space?
Are you mentioning quickie in a corporate setting?
Yes, please.
You know, there are actions that are not expected to go on in the corporate sector. If I remember clearly, I mentioned organizational culture. So as the policies are there, every organization has a culture that they live on. Okay, and you know, I remember when we were kids, we used to recite, culture is the way a group of people live, what they wear, what they eat. Yes, the same culture, every organization have their own. And that is why I say that it depends on organization to organization. Remember, in my first submission, I said that in the bad of days, a man could just message his girlfriend who is in the same organization and say, meet me there.
The same place, as usual.
Is the fact that it will bring productivity down. So for me, as you said, the same quickie can enhance productivity, because a man who is having a scattered mind, right, and needs to say align his mind to get back on track, may get this quickie and will fast roll back to how do you call it? The beginning setting. How do you call it? It will reset him to factory setting. You understand? And then he will start working as he's supposed to do.
Yeah.
But then the same quickie can destroy the organizational productivity.
Paula, the question is, what washroom am I going to do the quickie in? Is this the common floor members washroom that you are going to do it? I reckon that the general rule of quickies is not to be caught. That's number one.
Okay.
And also, quickies work best with senior level management. The CEO,
educators,
the managing director, who have their own cubicle, they have their own washroom. So that level, you are playing at that level, not you and an entry level staff. No, it's a CEO who can lock the door or shut it, and no, there will be no consequence. So you, the CEO, has invited over perhaps a secretary who is the lover, who is also the lover. So when they are in there, they've locked their cubicle. They are working, supposedly. And then they can, bang themselves and then come back to work without any consequence. But it isn't for everyone. The rule of quickies is to do it without being caught and to have a very decent and enabling washroom.
As the name says, it's quickie, so it has to be quick. You don't have to take forever.
Exactly.
There's not a love making session. All right. But then, Franca, when we were speaking, we were saying that some people don't like to date people in their office space. Some say that like your partner knows your business, your ins and outs. What do you think discourages people? Maybe it might not be just workplace. Some people say, once I'm in the same church with you, we are not dating. The same neighborhood with you. What discourages people from dating people in their circle?
We all have kind of rules set for ourselves. So we all have our ethical norms and values that we cherish. Okay, and based on these, we make decisions. So Franca, for instance, will not work in an organization and date anybody. No matter how attractive you are to me. For me, being in the same organization and dating is a no-no. Why? Because I have weighed myself, and I know that if things go beyond board, there will be chaos.
Yeah.
So in order not to put anything like that in line, that is my rule. Somebody's rule, as he said, may be, I want to climb this corporate ladder. I want to get there. For such a person, no matter what you do, there is nothing that can stop the person. And yes, the person will hit hard to get the target that makes things happen. The person will want the movers and shakers of the organization, not just any commoner. So we all have the reasons why we want things done in a particular way. And so yes, somebody will want to date based on their own reasons, someone will not.
Well, I find it intriguing that some people would say, I don't want to date anyone from the church, from my neighborhood, from my workplace. So where are you going to get a human beings? Where are you going to get a human being? It's not from the interactions you have.
No, but then if you are dating, imagine you're dating someone at your workplace. Some people are extremely jealous. Someone comes to see you. Okay, somebody came to see you. It's a problem. But then if it's at a different place that you are, you can have fun. You can meet people, and then even people at your workplace can be close to you without him feeling jealous and like, why was this person all over you today? Like
we must all manage our emotions well.
But that is one of the disadvantages.
We must manage our emotions well. Anybody who is unable or not equipped to manage his or her emotions well has no business wanting an office romance, because you are working under the glare of others, and so you must be discreet, you must be very suave, you must be cunning, and you must be crafty. And if you don't have these attributes, my good lady and my good man, you have no business engaging in office romance.
It's true. So it's not for the faint-hearted.
Never, never, my dear.
Franca, you wanted to chip in?
Yeah, I just wanted to add something to what he was saying. Yes, you see, what he just said is also one of the disadvantages, because remember we also mentioned it as an advantage that it becomes someone you can, a support system. It becomes someone that cheers you on when you are down. But the same thing can cause havoc. Yeah. Because I see Akosia getting so close to my man, and I become jealous. So now I won't be nice to Akosia. So now if Akosia's file gets to my desk, I will sabotage her work. You see? So then it becomes a disadvantage. So there is a way you manage the emotion, as he's saying. And I tell you, when it comes to, excuse my language, pussy and dick, it's a different ball game. So we have to be very,
people lose control very quickly.
So we have to be very careful when it has to do with these two elements of the human body.
All right. But while with someone who has already fallen in love, you find yourself in such a situation, how do you I don't know what the right word, be professional about your relation? How do you go about it?
Keep an open mind. Keep an open mind. You didn't birth the man or the woman. You are not the mother, neither are you the father. So just keep an open mind and tell yourself, I'm in for the ride as long as it lasts. And not only for office romances, for general life activities. You know, when you meet a lady, especially in our parts, they put the marriage cart before the horse or before the wheel. You know, for their mind, marriage. If you come loving me, it must end in marriage. Instead of availing themselves, keeping an open mind and saying, well, I like you as you like me. Let's see how this pans out. Let's see how far we can go. You know, so that you would embark on the journey of adventure and discovery. You get to know Paula. Oh, this is unique to Paula. Oh, I get to know this. There you know the person, and then you weigh it against your own attributes. Can I contain this? Can I spend the next 30 years of my life waking up to this face? Can I? People don't ask these questions, and they are always in the hurry to marry. But you've not asked yourself, can I, for 30 years, when I wake up every morning, I tell my face, Franca, this is Franca's face. Boom. I wake up every day, Franca's face, boom. There must be something in it that endears Franca to me for 30 years.
Okay.
I have to wake and thank the universe. I have to thank Allah. I have to thank Mahu Sogbolisa. I have to thank Atana Nyomo. Chedi Ponkwame, that thank you for crossing Franca's path to mine. And if that thing is not there, then there's going to be a problem, Paula.
I don't know whether I should beg to differ in what he said or I should, because you know, as I said, we all have ethical values and norms. So for someone who believes herself or himself to be a born-again Christian, would definitely not want to have a relationship with anybody that is just going to be, let's see our nakedness and have fun and have adventure and everything and just go separate ways. That is never the idea. The idea is if I meet Kwame and I love Kwame and I'm having something to do with him, I want it to end in marriage because I don't want to go that way. So for me, it's a whole different topic altogether. Maybe we have to find time to go into that one at a different time because we all have our expectations. Before you go into any venture, you must have an expectation. Because if you don't have expectation, then what are you going in for? So you must have an expectation. So I have expectation that I'm going to date this man. He's going to marry me.
But that's what I was saying, that how do you differentiate from fling? Because people think that office romances, maybe you just want someone to play around with. But meanwhile, someone going into a relationship with you, it's not about the fun. You have to look forward. Do we have the future?
Most of the time, if I don't want to say it's a general thing, but I think that if people who are not married are dating or having office romance, most of the time, most of them, their expectation is that let's study each other and get married. It's only a few who want to just, let me just tap the ladies, or let me just sort them and then just go. No, it's most of the time I think that they have positive mind. But you know, as the mind may have it, love is some way. You can't really understand it. Yes.
Sometimes
So it's a bit difficult and dicey when it comes to that extent. So for me, I think that you can't just, because if a single person is saying yes, but assuming my boss married shows interest in me, single, why is it taking me?
Sponsorship.
No way.
No, it will take you to sponsorship.
Okay, so at that instance, the lady herself knows so well that my boss is married, not ready to have a second wife. I'm not ready to be a second wife. So all we are going to have is just
your boss might have married.
Close our pizza so it doesn't get so cold.
Your boss might have just done the customary marriage.
All right. Now that brings me to the question. When I started my service, one of the orientations that they gave us was that when you are going to the institution or the organization where you've been posted to, look out for the men who come to you and say, oh, we like you. Usually it's just a national service aba, so they are just going to look through and see if you find yourself in a workplace where your boss or a colleague, let me make it, your boss is asking you out, how do you turn it down before you do, because you don't want any problem with anybody? So HR, how do you turn it down professionally once you know you are not interested in the office romance or whatever they are bringing to your table?
It's a difficult one. It has its negative side and its positive side.
Yeah.
But as I said, as an individual, you must be ready to say, damn the consequences. If you are not able to have that mind from the onset, any answer you give will have its consequences. So you must be ready. So assuming a boss likes Franca, who is in the organization, I just maybe entry-level person, and that's the shaker and the mover of the organization that can make things happen for me. And he comes, and because of my ethical norm and value, I feel it is not right. You don't just go, no. You don't just go like that. But then you must be very much well polite. Sometimes the way you say the thing is the most painful thing, even than the words itself. Okay, the words itself are so painful than the way you say it. So I think that you have to say it right at the right time. So my boss is here, he's saying he loves me or he's in love with me. I can tell him, oh, I understand, but based on the few things maybe you have read in the organizational policies and procedures, maybe I think it would be ideal that we all remain neutral. I only want to learn as a beginner. I want to know more things. So you, please boss, can we just see how things unfold? You know why? I'm saying let's see how things unfold, because as he said, it might just be a fling. Maybe somebody cry has bigger ass night shift than me cry, the person is going to come in. It's not who say it's not going to work. At the end of the day, he himself will start backing up, because he will realize that from your actions,
you're not interested.
You are trying to sway away from what he is bringing on board.
Was it not the lizard who said when he fell from the tree, nothing pained him more than the one who was laughing, not the one who even pushed him off the tree? So the fact of the matter is, how you respond affects the reaction. How you respond affects the reaction. As she said, if the dawn of the company comes to you and says, Paula, you look lovely, I love your lovely frame, I love us to, get acquainted, I'll take you out for dinner, and you know where it's leading, and you know you are unavailable. You don't go and say, come on, boss. I mean, how dare you, boss? I'm disappointed in you. I'm disappointed. No. So, I'm really flattered, boss. Really flattered.
But,
however,
okay,
I'm unable to avail myself because I'm just in. I want to get to know the organization. So, I'm afraid I can't honor the dinner invitation. But let's see, as Madame said, but let's see how things pan out. You don't close the door, because if he's serious about you, of course you can end the national service. You can conclude it. You finish eventually. And if you were to conclude and you were not retained at that workplace, it means you are out of the organization, right? So there's no problem of office romance now. If he really means business with you, so eventually you can reconnect outside the corridors of that office. There's that possibility of it.
For someone who is not, you haven't met someone who is stubborn. It's like they'll stop at nothing until they have you. To the extent, I guess, to harassment and all that. What should be the move you should pick? Should you make it? If once you are not listening to what I'm saying, like I'm being professional,
you are being diplomatic, and yet it's not working.
Most organizations have what we call the grievance procedure. Okay, and the boss might not have harassed you sexually yet, but the boss might be making advances that you're uncomfortable with. So he's a boss, but the rules are made to straighten things. The policies are made to guide us. Sometimes they themselves, they forget that they have those policies. If you are, there's one thing I always tell people: if you're an organization, take the pain, understand the policies of the organization, read their procedures, get to know more, so that if something like this is happening, it's like being a law student. You can quote the law.
State right here.
They can say that, oh, this means that even if I am caught, this is where my position is going to be. So can we just let sleeping dogs lie? Can we just let me go on learning and getting on with my career? I'm young in the field. I have to grow too. You are a boss. Sometimes how you communicate tells men how intellectual you are. And they can't tell whether, they can't know your stand, they can't know your mind. They become scared of you because they don't know what you are capable your next doing. Action is going to be. So once you are able to let this come out, he will push back. He will do a rethinking. He surely will do a rethinking. There are a lot of stubborn bosses. That one, no two ways about it.
Stubborn boys at the back.
But then it depends on you, the individual, to know your policies of the organization at your fingertips.
You can also take the comical route, or the comical route, as they say, if he's persistent.
Fire Syria.
And then you can say, oh, boss, this small ass, this small, they don't even shake. There are better things there, boss. This small breast. Yeah. It's like doing boss. So when you do it, what I say, you're correct. You're correct then. So you even become friends. There are so many cases of people who desired others, and then eventually they know eventually they don't get it, and then they become friends. So he says, "Hi, girlie." So I mean, you have to be crafty about it, and unless he rapes you, other than that, he can be advancing, praising you, buying gifts. Others also use inducement. buy you gift, lunch, you know, trying to woo you. So it might be so, you know, some to initially they will say, hey, but when the things are coming, and then the friends will say, hey, Paula, Charlie, it's not easy.
You're fortunate.
You know,
hey.
so, but you know what you want. If you are set in your mind that no, this thing I can't do it, there are many ways to play around it. You know, yeah.
All right, sure. We're really getting information here and what to do when your boss is persistent. And for those who are stubborn, as Mistake and Frank have said, there are so many ways to deal with them. We'll take a quick break here. When we come back, Mons and Kados continue.
Right there.
Welcome back to Mons and Cuddles on GhanaWeb TV. Back to my guest, Mystic and Franca. Mystic, I just want to throw this to you. How differently will you work with a lover against just the normal colleagues?
It depends on what sort of lover that person is.
You have a lover, so you know you are intimate, you have a relationship.
No, it depends on that. What sort of lover she is. Is she self-assured? Is she confident in herself? That she's not easily threatened or feels that her man is being preyed upon or being desired by another woman, so she puts up a fuss? Or she's a woman who trusts that her love or her affections are well secured with her man, that anything she sees doesn't bother her.
Okay.
So that sort of lover is whom I would desire to be with in an office romance. We are self-assured in ourselves and in the affection and the love we share. So when you see me with Bernice, you don't jump to conclusions. When you see me with Oyo, you don't jump to conclusions. Knowing that you, Paula, are my one and only.
The queen of your heart.
You are the one I desire. And it is only you I have an eye for.
Forget about the rest. You are the one. Okay, okay. But Franca, how difficult is it? How different is it?
I don't know. I think we've actually touched on all. You know, it all depends on what you want. It all depends on what you want. There are some people who can be very discreet at these. In fact, there are some people who can date in the office and nobody,
absolutely nobody
in the office can think
they close, they go their separate ways. They hardly talk.
Nobody can suspect.
No display of affection.
Cannot. And for such people, I think they are very professional. Very professional at what they're doing. Because, as I said, when they know, it will be spoken about. And once they speak about it, it affects everything that has a chain effect on you. You get everything that they will think is favor. So you have to be very, very careful when making such decisions as to involving yourself in an office romance.
Now, for our sisters and brothers who already find themselves in office romance, how do you handle emotion, especially maybe you don't work directly under the person, the person is your boss, and then the work needs to be done, and then they are hard on you. Forget about everything that we have. I'm hard on you. That way, so maybe I put you to order, just like the rest of your colleagues. You have to do the job.
I would liken it to being a man of God at church and coming home. When you are home, you are not man of God. You are husband. So if you are boyfriend, girlfriend, it is in your world. When you come to the corporate world, obey the rules. So if I am your boss, I'll be hard on you as I can once the job is not done. And as you, the girlfriend, you must understand.
This work.
We are working.
When we go
when
home,
we finish working, we can have a little chit-chat and a little touch. Not in the office.
I think I came across such a situation. I'm now recalling where it came across, but it involved on set. So I think the director had the host as the lover.
Oh.
So I think something had happened the previous night, and then the lady was hungry or something like that. So on set you could see there was tension, and then eventually we got to know the girl was saying and no on the set, who tell me on the set, and so we had and pay with
but that is right.
So we laughed, we all laughed, and the man explained that, look, your band is Juma Mudia Misra. Juma, would the Bomechi in my Kodema, would the Bahadi? I was saying, yeah. So it was just my mind just went to it.
Don't destroy where the food is coming from. Make sure that place works.
There's some people who say they don't eat where they eat. You get what I'm saying? Yeah, they don't eat where they eat
because that can destroy things for you. You end up losing the food you are supposed to be eating right.
Yeah, then you But then in a case where you and your lover you're in the same space, do you disclose your salary? So okay, baby, I earn this, I earn.
The salary bit is a whole ball game. It's a whole different ball game. But then I do not share the sentiment that we should have joint accounts. I, for one, it's not something I subscribe to, number one. And so if I don't subscribe to us sharing a joint account, I certainly do not reckon that we should discuss salary. We can do ranges. We can do range so that it helps in the support system at home. Okay. So if you are a man, at least you want to have an idea what's the capacity or the strength, financial strength of your wife. So if she's earning 800, some men will say, oh, and if it's into me and take you to the man, would you 800 now? Me, I'm 1,000. Back on 1 month, now 1,000 salary for you. So there's some men like that. Okay. And then there are other women also who will say they wouldn't want to disclose because then the men will be lax, or they will be lax on some of their duties that they comfortably performed. But if they got to know that my wife earns 4,000 cedis, they'll say, hey, now 4,000 now, you have to take brodo course. They will now demarcate the thing. So some people are just generally not comfortable with salary disclosure.
Okay, so once you're in the same organization, as we are trying to look at it, we all have what we call confidentiality of information. So when I receive my payslip, I'm told it is confidential. And once it's confidential, it's for my consumption only. You know why? Because disclosing of salaries has plunged and made a lot of people bitter and very inactive at job. So assuming, say, my man is maybe in the counter as a cashier. I'm also in the counter as a cashier. We are all cashier, right? We are all cashiers. So, and he's earning, say, 2,000, and maybe I'm earning 2,500. It has no business to do with him because we all bargained when we're coming into the organization. I don't know what you bargained for a salary. They laid the card before you and you made a choice. Maybe when they laid that card before me, I was able to bargain for a better salary. So for me, it's confidential. As I said, we can give ranges. I take around, about.
You give a range.
But for me to tell you my salary,
we respect that decision. But for you to avoid being a subject of mockery at a workplace where people say, oh, this person, I'm sure she's having a thing to do with, how do you handle it?
I think I wanted to put this point across earlier on. You must discharge your duties equitably and professionally. If you are in the employ of any business, discharge your duties so that very little else can be said about the quality of work you put in. If you do that, whether you are sleeping with a frog, whether you are sleeping with a cow, will be of no consequence. Because even your colleagues can testify that Paula Day, if they see you sleeping with Mr. Mankwakra, they'll say, oh, it's of no consequence. It's love. But it comes to work, and colleagues themselves, when they observe an attribute, they spread it about you, not you. It is they say, Frimpong, say, Obedu Ejumemu 8 o'clock, Obabeto Frimpong Ejumemu. Even if you come 7 o'clock, Frimpong would have reported already. That is his, how do you call it, road to acclaim, reporting to duty without being late. In over 5 years, Frimpong would never be late, no matter what. And the colleagues themselves say, hey, Obeto Frimpong, hey, Mebono, they themselves. But if you are a lazy rat, and you are using personnel at work to climb, they will know. They will say it too. Except that they will not even say it at your back. They will say it right in your face. That we don't know him there. And you do see any they'll tell you.
All right. But before we come to the end of today's discussion, when you have a love relationship with someone, it has been going on for months, for years, and there is a breakup. Yes. Finally, you guys decide to part way. How do you handle it?
At the workplace?
At the workplace.
Okay. That you can't work anymore?
No, we can't work
okay.
on it. So we've just decided.
But we are still in the, we will still continue. We are working, still working.
Still in the
of
same
course,
space.
that's where managing emotions comes in. Managing emotion, that's where it comes in. Paula, you have many exes. I've had my share. Franca has had exes. We've not died. Have we died? Are we dead? We are living, aren't we?
Yeah.
So that is it. When you realize, you come to that realization that this cannot travel any further, stop any, have an honest discussion with the person. Don't ghost the person. Don't send a text message. Yapong.
Mistake. It is when it's on a consensus, when you are all ready to let go. Maybe you've seen that, oh, we are trying everything we can and it's not working. When you are agreeing, it's easy.
But if I have fallen out of love, and it's like my money on the trotro is exhausted, no matter what, I have to get down.
You can get down.
And so in getting down, I have to make it known to the mate, which is my lover, that Mr. Kana also, Messi ha. So I am Messi until you tell that, madam. But it is again how you discharge that duty.
And that is why most organizations are scared about this office romance, because at this juncture, it's very difficult.
The breakup.
And the breakup that is not agreed by the two parties. And that is where they dread that there could be lagging productivity. You understand? Because I can take it. I'm fine. You are not fine. The you are not fine will play a role in your job. I'm telling you. So it's always advisable that if you are a person who you know very well within yourself, that you cannot even manage your own small emotions in your house, you don't take it to the office where business is held. Because at the end of it, it will show. And if you don't take care, that might also be the end of you, because you may end up getting query letters. Query letters will follow, and by the time you realize you are getting a summary dismissal, and you get nothing to take home. So it's always good that you weigh yourself. I always say this: think through yourself. Be sure of what you really want before you make a decision to have an office romance.
Thank you, HR. HR has said it all. But Mistake, final words before we
Well, so there's an ancient African saying, man, know thyself. Man, know thyself. And if you live by this creed, you shall go far.
Handles. How can you reach you?
I'm on Twitter at Mystic Mike. The Mystic is MYSTIQUE. Mike MIKE. Also on Facebook at Mystic Mike MYSTIC and Mike MIKE. And then also on Facebook I'm on with my website blackpepper.com. BLAKKPEPPERDOTCOM. And then on Instagram at Black Pepper News.
Black Pepper
News.
Oh, yeah. You are those famous. I have to go and look for you. Yes. I have to go and look for
Mistake.
Fortunately, I like to keep myself on the low key. Okay. I think I'm just fine. We're okay.
Right. Baby.
Maybe one day.
You open up.
Yes. We respect that. Now, as I stated earlier, my makeup was done by Kiki Sadi. She's on Instagram as the corporate chick. Contact her for all occasions. She's going to glam you up. And Mons and Cuddles is proudly sponsored by Cheesy Pizza. Now, Cheesy Pizza has all you want from juices, smoothies, jollof, fried rice, pack, and meatballs. We have great deals for you all week round. Cheesy Pizza gives you the McCheesy combo every Monday and Thursday. With only 49 cedis, you get one small pizza, fries and chicken, one Coca-Cola drink at all branches. I see you are enjoying it.
I'm going in.
Cheesy Pizza tastes good. Now,
I'm not ketchup, I'm going in.
Yeah. So on Tuesday, our Super Tuesdays are all Cheesy Pizza branches. Buy your Super Family Pizza at half price every Tuesday for 40 cedis at all Cheesy Pizza branches. Be part of the midweek bonanza every Wednesday. Buy and get one free at all Cheesy Pizza branches. And also remember to start your weekend with special jollof and fried rice from Cheesy Pizza branches every Friday. Call 026-413-33397. 026-413-3397 to place your order. Cheesy Pizza, your way. And on that note, Cheesy Pizza has got something for our guests. So Mystic, here you go. You can hand one over to Franca.
Many thanks, Franca. Here you go.
All right.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, enjoy your pizza with your loved one. Mystic, if you don't have anyone at work that you know you're having anything to do with, maybe.
No, no. I'm currently free. I'm a free agent.
Yeah.
Ready to mingle?
Exactly.
It was a great pleasure having you. To my guests, Mystic Mike and Francisca Ishon, thanks for coming to Mons and Cuddles.
Always a pleasure. Always a pleasure.
And to you who did the watching, thank you very much. It's always a pleasure coming your way with Mons and Cuddles. I am Paulina Deda Opoku. See you on the next episode.